do it against Yaoi Lost, who brings unorthodox compositions, Gaskin.
Well, here we have it. It's Yaoi Lost versus Sentinels for a spot in the lower bracket finals. Guys, take it away.
All right, Vicky, from MRC dream to the reality that is getting third place in this preseason. Such a cool story for Yaoi Lost. And the way Sentinels got here from the bottom to the top, both are stories that won't both find happy endings, but we're going to find one today. It's going to be Elsa for the ban up top. Going to shut down Usher and what they've done to get to this point. Gambit going to be matching on the other side, which I think is an interesting ban against this team, if I'm being honest. Ultron with the save as well, so the adjustments have to be made. Jitward wants his pick saved as the devil. It's going to be theirs.
That's so funny here. It's so Sentinels too, right? Because they know that they can flex over. I mean, when it comes to Sentinels, I always think about the triple strategist that we always see rolled up for this team. With the Mantis ban following right afterwards, after maybe expecting that Elsa to protect, but it's going to be the Daredevil that is prioritized for Jitward. We've seen Jitward pop off before when it comes to getting enabled with this Daredevil. You do not want to have that damage boost available, as well as the fact that maybe potentially having an Elsa escape through.
All right, for the next ban here, yeah, I would think Mantis has to be it. It's going to be just that. The late Elsa band as well. Zatex is punching drywall, but still going to be fine as they've got plenty of great play and plenty of options mechanically. The save here, a lot of it's been Hulk. It's been things to help out Xantho in the strat line. Obviously, Zatex is who they like to protect a lot, like with Phoenix and whatnot, but that's not there. They're going to go with the Vanguard, which I like. Mask has been the Thor. Cart's been on the Venom and the Hulk. But obviously, Jitward, when needing to flex, can go that Vanguard Deadpool, as we know so well.
But it's a lot of utility in terms of like the protect phase being implemented for Jitward to pop off. So they're hovering over the Doctor Strange. This would be crazy here because we know how important the Strange portal is. Okay. They go over to the Jeff. I would have laughed so hard if we would have seen the Doctor Strange ban because you know what? The pick and ban phase is also where the mind games start, Cozy, and that could have procced a Doctor Strange protect coming out of the gates for our next map.
You would have seen that in spawn room surrender, and oh man, how many times you've been there in the ranked games? Like, we can win this. The Strange is banned. Jeff getting banned as well, I think is a good approach for them the way they play Jeff, and they're going to go with the save on the tank pool themselves. I think that was going to be, we lost his ban too, so when they take that away, you're going to see them take a second out to get this ban out because I think that is what they wanted to go with. Now having to adjust and looking at what they have their options on, I think they go another strat here, especially with the way that it's leaning. Oh, the Crimzo thing. Okay, so Crimzo and what he can adjust to, Vic, I think the thing is a great get rid of, especially with the way Jitward plays.
Yeah, I agree, because that's going to be a really good answer to deal with the harassment that Jitward's going to try to implement onto the backline of Sentinels. Korva also having that flexibility, and surely we're not going to be seeing this. But anyways, don't get me excited. But Raimazing is going to have his Ultron after he was able to protect it, maybe flex over to it, because over on Krakoa, Cozy, there's a lot of verticality that you could play around, a lot of space as well. And every time I see Raimazing hovering over the Iron Man, I just think about the time when we were in Atlanta and Raimazing was kicking it back with Korova saying, man, I just want them to let me play Iron Man. I want it so bad. They never let me unless they put their trust in me. And sometimes it does work. You've even asked them that question over in some interviews.
Yeah, I mean, the maximum pulse was how they even, punched their ticket in there at one point. So it's cool to see the flexible play. Oh, don't get baited. Don't the gold. I mean, can we imagine? Will we actually get the golden fart? Nope, we're not going to. Flamay is going to be instead. That team up. I've seen that team up like once, and I think it was in the Dev Vision. Other than that, not in my own games. But either way, it's going to be a little bit of fun here to open things up after the serious match of the 1 seeds. Gates are open. Krakoa's waiting. Cerebro beckoning to be called for the taking.
Time to make our way to the Hellfire Gala. Maybe lost my invite somewhere in the mail, but Korova is going to roll out on that Invisible Man. No baited taken. As now Raimazing also going to be able to hover over Dogman. Really important to see how Dogman plays here too. You see the Daredevil coming out from Jitward. Mask this time not on the Thor as Zatex gets that first pick onto Raimazing. This is big. Zatex just wrapping around Sentinels like making a Yaoi Lost sandwich, already proccing that armor over from Crimzo before he tries to dash away. After losing out on that one member, though, they do not want to stagger. It's just going to be a reset. They're going to give the point first to Yaoi Lost.
Yeah, this is how they like to play, fast and loose. And I think with them not banning the Daredevil, which will probably happen in adjustments, we'll see and they don't have the thing to counter. This is just going to be so much pressure. We always say this team is going to cause chaos, but you have to be able to keep calm and patient during all of it. That's what the best teams have done. Matt's not playing the Thor. I'm already a fan of right now as the Deadpool Vanguard getting that quick pick on Korova.
Korova was caught out of position too when they were feeling a lot of that pressure. You get the man hammer immediately, and Mats is going to be able to tip and dodge away as Rymazing also was able to find Jitward in the process. The charm is going to come in clutch as Rymazing made that quick swap. Another ban hammer from the other side before trying to dive away and trying to prevent the back cap here from the Venom.
That has got his upgrade book out, and he's in the face of the Venom, like absolute chaos over there. But either way, Dogman going to get the pick there and get some nice trades. 50% already to Yeah, We Lost. And you know what? We've done pretty well in the back half of the evening without pauses, but why ruin a good thing going? We're going to go ahead and let things get adjusted here. You said Iron Man at the beginning. Jarvis is getting things rolling up. Jarvis, get this match going as fast as possible. Vicky, already, though, impressed with the opening from Yeah, We Lost and kind of what we expect to see from them because they do like to play fast, quick, make people uncomfortable. And I was wondering, I was like, hey, I like looking at Venom as much as the next game, but I think that this is already catering to this play style that they like, and just getting the Daredevil through with the thing ban in is a beautiful setup.
And also maybe trying to tilt like the back line a little bit too, because you were able to put in the ban hammer onto Korova, you get that pick, also kind of delays the inevitable. But in that last previous fight, we did see Kendrick and Xantho go down, so there is no sustainability once we get out of this pause. Yeah, we lost. They were nearing like 50% on the point, and that was with Crimzo trying to split away the attention from the chokehold that Yeah, We Lost was holding when they were pressing up onto Sentinels.
Yeah, this could be an interesting next fight because point Sentinels, we can go ahead and delete them from this one. Yeah, we lost. They're going to go back to spawn. And when they reset, they're going to be close to both straddles for the next fight, right? But in return, Yusher's got that legendary ready to pop. Flamme as well with the Jet. And Crimzo being on that Venom, which Crimzo doesn't play an awful ton of Venom. So fun to see that kind of coming together here. So it's going to be a real kind of battle up with the way these Qs are going to be pressed. Zaytek's still a healthy amount away as well, if you guys are wondering where everybody sits. But I like some adjustments already in the initial showing. Again, Mask, I think, was on an interview talking about Thor. Loves Thor. We all love a good Thor. But I think the Deadpool Vanguard fits their bill a bit better in domination.
I really liked in the interview how Mast was putting in all his faith onto Thor, though, and saying, like, you know, he's really fun, he's self-reliable. I know my Thor OTPs will be very happy to hear that, but when it comes to this level of competition, flexibility has always been the biggest key to take away from these high-level teams, right? We saw what happened to Yeah, We Lost yesterday. It's still fresh in my mind, Cozy. So you go into today with a completely different slate. I'm also, like, questioning here, Yusher did roll out onto the Star-Lord, so wondering, you know, with no Gambit, you won't have that get ready, set, go button, but maybe you could force out some of these ultimates from the strategists that you could expect coming up into this next fight. The closest one being Xantho's having that invisible boundary alongside Kendrick, who will have that Camille Unleash. As we get everything settled, everybody, thank you again for your patience, but it's the calm before the storm, as I always see our teams just making sure everybody's ready, and hopefully Jitward is hardwired again.
Yeah, hey, back-to-back 3, you know, Game 5 matches, don't even worry, I'm speechless, but back-to-back, and then with the pause, why not, right? Let's go the distance. Let's go the full night. Let's have ourselves the night shift over here. But either way, yeah, I think this is going to be a lot closer than people think. I think Fox said that he thinks it's going to be Sentinels. They're going to dominate this one. But, man, I'm going to keep being the believer of Yeah, We Lost. Even though, obviously, it's easy to say now with them up 46%. There's still a lot of matches to be played. But if there's one kind of thing that is going to be worrying about them is going to be if Sentinels do lose this, they're definitely going to quickly adjust on that ban phase, guys. We are just, hey, trust me, we're ready. We're ready to watch and roll too, but the player's still getting set, ready to go. Is it Jitward's internet again, Vic?
Dude,
do we think so?
The thing is that I've tuned into Jitward streams a few times. Is like I feel like that's always an issue. Like somebody help this man. But you know what?
McDonald's?
Maybe around the corner or something. But you know what? It's also like, okay, guys, just get this game going, right? Sorry, I don't have the button here. I'm not lag switching Jitward.
Push the button, Vicky.
Just got to make sure that we are ready to go because, again, both of these teams' tournaments' lives are on the line, and
I'm pushing
Jarvis,
it. I'm pushing
is
the
the
button.
game ready?
I'll push the button, Vicky.
Let's go, Cozy.
If you're not going to press it, I will. And Jitward and the internet. Clip that. Twitter. McDonald's Wi-Fi coming at you here in the form of Krakoa. Walking right into the wall, but back in action. Doesn't matter. Team wiped either way, but man, that's funny.
Is he back? Like, we
He's
started
gotta
the game. I mean, yeah, right. Okay. I see him just diving in there, already trying to harass Korova, who forces him back. So we're all together. The gang's here. Santos, once again, we were highlighting the Stratus ultimates from Yeah We Lost. They will have those Stratus ultimates to rotate through, and Yusher's going to be the first one to open up the gates because there is still no sustainability. Neither of those ults are online, so they're just all navigating away. They're just going to wait out this Galactic Legend.
Yeah, I like that.
Not the shark. No.
What? That was perfect for me how we lost. They get the Usher ult out of the way, and they get the trade on Flamay. Amazing now with Crimzo, and they're going to get nothing from that as well. Are you kidding me? Jitward staying alive. The lawyer gets the point back. What in the hell?
There's the fact that you're still running. Oh, big pick from Zatex. Korova had the invisible boundary. Somebody check on the strategist as Sentinels and Flamay was the first one out originally. Turned him into sushi, so he was unfortunately not in the action to keep everybody alive. And Crimzo making this quick swap over to the captain.
Yeah, that was such a weird battle and trade because if you look what was there, Vic, I thought like 10 other scenarios were going to happen. But no, Jitward just getting a couple of the internet back on full. And here we go. Yeah, we lost. Not going to be able to have too much. Kendrick will be able to keep them up in some way, shape, or form. And if there's a team that's great at diving, it will be this one. Yusha is lethal, and Xantho is being the shining spot and a rising star in the strategist role. Finds that connection. The Jeff going to go ahead and get its lunch. Flamay taking him into the spawn. They get nothing from it, though, as Jitward trades, and time is ticking. They're not going to be able to portal. This is it. The first zone is going to be going to Yeah We Lost quite dominantly.
They literally just backed away into a corner, and Jitward had a feast here. And this is every strategist's worst nightmare. But look, at the point right now, it may be Crimzo who's looking to back cap. Somebody from Yeah We Lost has taken notice. It's going to be Mask, and it was actually Dogman who puts in the banner on top of the bubble. Okay, well, you know what? Mask will absolutely take that, but the stall is still benefiting Sentinels right now because the action is still going. Korova will come in with the invisible boundary, letting the devil out, though. Somebody call the Exorcist, and it's going to be the form of Korova to save the day.
Wow. I mean, I am so stunned that they were able to get this point back. Me over here calling it just joking. Psych, I lied. Dongman taking photos to celebrate quickly. Selfie after selfie. Remember, Deadpool gets so much more value here on Domination. As you all know, XP carries on over zone after zone. Yusher, been picked a couple times early, but back to the legend that he is, up in the sky with the auto aim shortly. And now, all of a sudden, how the turns have tabled. The table has turned. You've got a lot going for Sentinels.
You gotta flip the scripts, Jitward. Waiting on the prowl to find the next victim before diving onto Yusher, but he's got the backup this time around. You can see the water park, the spray, as they harass Jitward, but he gets his own sustainability. Nice from Santos to back him up, who's very close to the invisible boundary, by the way, and even though we see the back and forth as the Fasu, she's got hands, and you find more of this pressure, but though you find Santos, who's over to the other side, was holding on to the invisible boundary, but cannot keep Mask alive. They push Santos outside the invisible boundary, but he stays alive for now.
That survivability of Xantho was crazy, and the picks as well. 99 and 99, and just like that, Sentinels stand strong. The portal's going to open. Zatex gets the magic going, and everyone coming up, but it's going to be 1 by 1, 2 down, 4v6. They're picking them off 1 by 1. Zatex is trying to stay alive. Time is ticking. Sentinels will not break as they continue on, showing that the shield. Crimzo back on the mascot of this team. Xantho still alive somehow. Punch, push, Sue Storm, get in there. Everybody falls. How did they flip that? My God.
Hold, coming out of the pause after getting harassed by the Daredevil, and Sentinels are locked in. I know a lot of you Sen City fans out here are giving them their energy, but Yeah We Lost made them put up a fight. The fact that they were able to flip that and Korova came in with the invisible boundary is chef's kiss.
Yo, I mean, they were setting up a camp in their spawn. I mean, just completely ready to push in all the way, and all it takes is just a little bit of hope. Man, I love the Sentinels mask on the back of that. Look how great that is. Such a perfect skin. But yeah, anyway, I've got to say, just so impressed with the way they played. And yeah, we lost now. We kind of saw, let's be honest, we definitely saw the mental affected there against TLC, right? So these games are so important for how they start off. Yeah, they've come back. They've reversed, or gotten close to reverse sweeps before, what we saw with NRG. So here we go. Doors are opening, Vicky. And if you look at the ult economy, what do you like?
Right now, I'm liking that Flame's got the itch, Jeff, because it's going to keep an eye out for Kendrick and Santos. We're going to have to see how that Camille Unleash gets the impact that it wants, because Jitward, already taking a good amount of pressure, is just going to feed into those strategist ultimates as they rotate through. Jitward outside the boundary of, it looks like, Kendrick and Santos as he backs away, and they call out Cart, right? Amazing, with the quick little charm to make sure Cart cannot get away.
Yeah, I think White Fox is such a good complement duelist or strategist for Amazing in the way that they like to play. Used to be on the Mantis back in the old triple res days, but now on the Lethal Fox and the Devil being let out. Crimzo not phased by it whatsoever. Mask shut down quickly. Merc with the mouth back to the spawn. Cussing up the room now as Jitward slices, dices, tries to find more. Cannot get it before Xantho's thrown off to the edge of eternity. Cart and Jitward, though, these dive heroes trying to do their best, and Crimzo hunts down the symbiote. The fat lady singing.
Off the back of Crimzo's shield, the Cap is here himself, and Xantho's taking the time real quick to get back from the spawn room gates. But I like the stall. Nobody has just flipped the point just yet. Dogman does find that pick. Usher goes down with the Galactic Legend, but everyone from We Lost is slowly approaching back up to the point. Xantho cannot get called out again.
Dogman's such a stud, just evolved as a player so much, and it is the Vanguards getting it absolutely done, putting a beat in here to these duelists and hunting them one by one. Cart can't even stay alive with all that health. Now they do get the point. By the way, if you didn't know, the point was in contention that entire time. Now 5% up and climbing.
How long did I take again? Zatex getting enabled together with the invisible boundary, negating any sort of sustainability that Sentinels wanted to lean on. Sure, they may have gotten to the point for now, Cozy. They're nearing 20%, and they're desperately keeping this stall going.
All right, Mask. Trying to get this point back. Made outfit and all Jitward. Diving Crimzo, not going to let him get away. Big stagger here, and he's going to go in and get the finish. Perfect. And Crimzo, like, fighting near the portal. Like, open up. Have you been there before? So many times in my own games. I'm like, open this damn thing up. But
especially when you're invisible and you know that they're going to just shoot into the air because they know you're hugging that portal that's not even on.
All right. Now we've got the fight coming right back over. Yeah, we lost at 20%. It's going to be Amazing activating the Fox now as the Devil's let out. Once again, Dogman finds that first pick, though. Cart is just getting picked now over and over in these fights. The waving coming out there in the form of the band hammer. No capitalization with it. Jitward goes down, and this is going to go right back on over to Sentinels. They are able to keep the point. I'm going to have it as long as possible. Cart going to be able to come back and sustain. Usher trying to get best. Oh, does flip out. Can't find it. Zatex, the assassin.
It's Jeff, though, is able to get the White Fox, taking a quick trip. Where is my Uber driver taking me? Yeet! Off to the side of the map. A great environmental KO while Santos is getting harassed by Crimzo. Somebody help. Cannot even push Crimzo away. He puts up the shield. He dives right back onto the point. And just like that, Sentinels are able to flip it in numbers.
My goodness, freedom never dies. Kuroa has the invis. Xantho to match. And get the diagram coming out shortly. Cart now going to swap on over to the Hulk. Goes on the Venom. I like this play a lot for them. Oh my, Kurova just shutting down Zatex. Now the stagger matters not as much there on that pick, just with the way that Zatex is going to rotate over anyway, but still huge pick early. 43% going to match that easily. And just like Amazing, always in comms with Crimzo, their former teammate, now back together as a team in the playoffs where it matters most, and they're all diving in. Jitward back on the ceiling like Ultron from last night, but in this form, Daredevil.
Oh, they got him out of the invisible boundary. Oh, Santos was clenching after feeling harassed from Amazing. The White Fox coming in. Sure, you may have missed at least that charm, but it's okay. The last shot clipping on Zatex's head as they extend the lead right now on this point.
Not a worse feeling, right? And it doesn't help that the hero yells it out for everybody just to vanish. And I'm not talking about the eel. Back to the spawn goes Xantho. Crimzo gonna go ahead and symbol his Avengers now and keeping this point all the way charged up. They have not looked back since that pause. And here comes the Hulk. Cart, one of the best at it in the America scene, but Monster Hulk has been torn down. Zatex with the dance of the butterflies, trying to slice, dice, find something. These two heroes can't get it done with the ults. Gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way, but it's Crimzo punching, pushing. Never gonna let a bully win as 98-99 ticks. Kurova gets in on the action, and Vicky, this is just a performance.
The Sioux hands are finding its traps. Crimzo was trying to go for the body block too. Continuing on the harassment of Jitward. Crimzo riding on the freedom tails of democracy, as my buddy Leg Day would say. Overtime ticking down. The captain swap has worked. And with overtime a pixel away from looking at Sentinels and their dub, we have Dogman getting the next ping. And now letting the devil out. Is it going to be all for naught? Jumping on top of their heads and isolating Kendrick on the White Fox.
These Vanguards are doing it all by themselves like Thanos. My gosh, absolute disgusting. Look, just wait. Just wait, Vic, till this stat line. I mean, outside of like 1-2 things most we'll talk about, you could not have started better if you are Sentinels.
Yeah, we lost in this first map, and Sentinels putting a point on the board. Amazing. White Fox rise up, because even if they protected the Ultron, it's got the claws here when you have to deal with the Fox. Sentinels already looking fantastic, but it was a bit of that back and forth. But the fact that Jitward and Master shut down. 12 final 13. Dogman and Crims, the Vanguards, are insane here. I mean, Crimzo also was doing such a good job at putting in so much pressure onto Zaytex. Look how many times Zaytex went down. 11, 15, and 11.
Sure.
Like that was detrimental, Cozy.
And Cart was a non-factor, honestly. Like, we've seen Cart play much better. Cart was a non-factor there. Crimson, it's so funny. I mean, I think it was with you, Vic, on my pod. I was talking about at the beginning of this whole scene who the player I had the biggest, like, not expectations for, but would be the biggest difference maker for a team. And I was like, I'm not going the full talent side. It's the, how do you fill this role in this spot? And it was Dongman. And he is just playing lights out match after match. Crimzo finding the cap. I think a lot of people have tried to get rid of Crimzo at the helm, because that is a lot of the anchor of this team in the ban phase. But man, he's showing that versatility here. Guys, do not go anywhere. It is 1-0 Sentinels. We've got a long one, I can tell, on our hands. We're going to be back after this quick break.
That first round, I thought for sure that, yeah, we lost, we're going to have it, and then suddenly, just like that, you blink and you will miss it. Cozy, I think you did blink, and then suddenly, Sentinels were right back on that point. Insane stall to bring that one back.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think it's at the hand of so many players. Like, really, the only thing I didn't love there is Yusha on Star-Lord for a lot of that. I think that was the only thing where I was like, maybe swap that up. Other than that, I mean, God, from the Vanguards to Amazing, like we always say, like, he's amazing. I think White Fox just complements a lot of the way he plays and is just such an underrated duelist, because he's not, I don't know how to say this in the way, it's like flashy, wow, but he's so consistent, and it has been for every team, always punching the ticket to land, always being that stud that kind of rises above no matter what, you know, the other team brings them.
And Vicky, we've been here before where we see, yeah, we lost, go 1-0 down, and this is usually where they go back to their comfort. Where do you think that's going to be in terms of maps and in terms of hero selection here?
Museum of Contemplation. We were just talking about this in the break, guys, and I was just, you know, teasing around with you guys, saying, all right, we're probably going to see mass roll out on the Thor. We're going to see maybe the Vamp will come out. I mean, we're going to have to see, right?
Oh,
because,
look at that!
Oh, a prophet.
Shocked.
What do you know? Gasp for surprise Pikachu face. But this means that, yeah, we lost, leading into their comfort pick. We've seen them get stopped here before. Is this going to be what they need to turn things around? Because we know how important it is when it comes to momentum and how volatile domination seems to be. Although, again, I'm so surprised Sentinels was able to flip the script in that first round so quick.
Now, the interesting thing here is, Cozy, is if we can predict it, then surely Sentinels would be expecting this as well. So going into this ban phase now, like, they're going to have a good idea of what they want to try and do in terms of ripping the kind of perfect heroes away from Yeah, we lost, right?
Yeah, they even caught TLC off guard for just a second. Right, yesterday, that was like the one shining moment from that of the series yesterday. They like to play super aggressive here. Sometimes they go a lot of weird lines, like they'll save the Hulk, only play the Venom. Like, obviously, I think with how Cart played, we can see potential, but we're also not going to get the bans there either. Daredevil, Deadpool, one of those will be banned, no questions. I think Deadpool probably going to lead that from them. But, man, it's interesting because both these teams, right, the winner plays, TLC, which both teams have faced and lost to. So I think both these teams are equally footed for that third-place position. We'll see if they can adjust well. Gaskin, what do you predict here?
What do I predict? Oh,
I'm going to throw it back at you.
I will go from our Prophet Fox that he said it was going to be a 3-0 from Sentinels, and that's where all my channel points went as well, so I just have to continue to go down that train, right? I do think, we lost, though, they have always looked better on their comfort picks. They've always looked better when they start playing the heroes that they've been jamming hundreds and thousands of hours in ranked. So I do think that this is going to be their best chance, if any. However, I do think if they lose this one, then maybe we might be looking towards the Sentinels 3-0. Sen seem to have found their footing. They seem to have looked like this squad that I was expecting right at the very beginning of preseason. They took a little bit of time to adjust to this meta, but now they've finally found that place. My worry, Vicky, is as we look ahead to like Stage 1, for example, with the meta that's going to change and shift again, teams can't afford to be taking this long to adjust because they might have got away with it this time, but it's not always going to be that easy with adjusting too long.
Is that the difference between the teams who have made it here from the MRC, and being able to really rely on themselves? These are a bunch of rank grinders. We've called it out before, and Cozy, we say it all the time. Jitward will play all these crazy matches of MRI and then jump immediately into ranked. I'm questioning the Thing ban because obviously Crimzo was leading the pack and harassing everybody else after making that swap over to the Captain America. So that's also another consideration before we dive into the pick and ban phase.
Yeah, for sure, because that was... sorry, I was just going to say, Gaskin, that was what they did so well to get here, right? Like Crimzo, I think that's where their target bans are going to go because, we lost. They have a game plan going each time. They were able to watch that game as well and try to see what was the biggest thorn in at least the side of 100 Thieves. And so I think they're going to continue that, but you can only do so much against it. But if you shut down the Vanguards, I think it does open up the chance for opportunity.
My worry, Vicky, is if you start trying to target the off-meta stuff, then it just invites the pressure from the meta things. It's been this whole back and forth we've seen this week of people being like, oh, well, maybe we will let Gambit and Elsa get through because we're worried about Captain America or we're worried about a Thor. And then suddenly you just get absolutely slammed by Elsa and Gambit and you regret doing it. Do you think that a lot of these squads are maybe overthinking the lock and ban phase a little bit and maybe should just go off statistical data rather than feeling?
Yeah, because then you take a look at like how the previous pick and ban phase goes down, and we talked about this a few times, like the bait and punish. You could try to bait out, like, okay, if you go for a Doctor Strange ban, which we have seen until we lost, maybe they're desperate to use a protect on a Doctor Strange. Or if you see that the enemy team in Sentinel's term had protected the Ultron, which, by the way, could go crazy on this map too with the verticality and just providing a lot of the extra cover to get out of the line of sight. Do you want to lean into that instead, which does open up more of the meta picks that Sentinels could lean on?
Well, in terms of the game, while we wait for it, these players are just getting ready at the moment, Cozy. We can focus on what's happening actually in Marvel Rivals, and we've got new changes. We've got Black Cat being introduced as well, and I think this is the perfect time to talk about it when we've got a team like We Lost, who are ranked grinders, who came through the MRC, probably will flourish with a character like Black Cat as well. What do you think is going to happen when we look at the developing meta and how things are going to change? Because I've seen a lot online about people saying how crazy Black Cat is, but maybe not in ranked play, perhaps just in pro play, because it is a very difficult hero to play.
No, for sure. I think they'll definitely take advantage of it. I mean, they got to fix their 7th member first, and that is going to be, his router. I think that's, going to be the toughest thing for Jitward right now moving forward for this team. But no, I think Black Cat could face a lot of bans, because if you think of what this is going to look like at the pro level, that's going to be something we see often. But yeah, hey, talk about a team that can execute to perfection. It would be this team that loves to play fast and loose. Gaskin, 1-0.
Fast and loose, baby. That's how we like it as we get fast into these locks and bans. It's map 2. You've got Vicky Kitty. You've got Cozy.
All right, Cozy, let's get this going with game number 2. I mean, that first map felt like it was honestly going the distance, even though it ended in that 2-0 clean toss over from Sentinels, the Protect. Onto the Daredevil, though, and the Respect, as Sentinels do ban out the Gambit. They do not want to have any sort of damage boost going on, because we know that, We Lost like to play a little tricky with the unorthodox compositions, but with the Protect on the Daredevil, that's the indicator here that Rymazing wants to lean into that White Fox. But again, Let's not forget, Amazing is such a flexible player, Cozy. We talk about this all the time. He likes to take to the skies in different forms, but he also knows when to take out the claws with the White Fox.
No, for sure. And you know what? It's a chance to see what the enemy team did well, but also what your team did right and what you expect them to ban, and that's why they're getting that quick save on there. On that White Fox, Jit, we're going to go ahead and get the Daredevil once again. This is kind of their Museum of Contemplation special. They win on this map a ton. Obviously very tough against one of the best in America, but either way, there goes the ban on over for the respected Dogmen and the way that they've played. I think that's a very important one and would have been saved right here, no question.
I also really like if We Lost get their own Vamp pool, how strong Vamp pool is in scaling on a map like Museum of Contemplation. We've mentioned this before. The cap they'll protect, expecting We Lost to maybe go in for a ban because, again, Crimzo was literally leading the charge of harassment onto the strategist backline of We Lost.
No, absolutely. Great call. And they played this, We Lost has played this similar in a lot of ways, but with Sentinels getting that cap protected, they went ahead and looked at what was done best. Obviously, Dogman is going to get his hero banned, but they're just copying the same homework from Krakoa, and why not? Last save here. This one is always seeming to be somewhat of an unimportant save for We Lost, but I'm curious to see where they go, and more importantly, expect Sentinels to target. My opinion, going to go ahead and try to keep up there's the Vanguard protects. We expected that a bit in the pre-show.
Matt said, don't worry, you won't be seeing the Mjolnir Hammer come diving down today. It's gonna be the Vamp pool, but we know also the flexibility that We Lost have in general with Vamp pool, dual pool. We've had it already before with Jitward. Mask is gonna go over to that Vamp pool as a priority, and with the Protect over to the Daredevil. I really like Daredevil on this map as well. You will have that extra info, but because Daredevil wasn't banned for Sentinels, will also be able to rely on that.
It's good to call out, Vic, as we get our players locked and loaded, ready to go. You're going to stay on that Star-Lord. And now looking at it, the Black. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. But either way, Golden God and all being shown at least where they can. Now, I will say this is going to be a good Adam Warlock map. There's not a lot of situations right now in the meta where you can play, but we've seen plenty of teams on this very first bit of a point hold go to that res, right, Vic? Especially going into the opening weeks of the group stage. So, hey, Karova, Golden God, Crimzo, Amazing. What year is this, Vicky?
I was going to say, if there was caster react cams, you would have seen the Omega Pog face right here because Karova, he is Adam Warlock incarnate. I said this at the very beginning when we were highlighting Sentinels, has a roster, and we are getting it on the defensive side of Sentinels. Triple strat, it's back, and Sentinels in full form here after they were able to take that first map.
Fully charged and ready to go. Look with the alternate fire. Love that we have the spectator cams right here and now. They know who everyone wants to watch on this defensive hold first. Sentinels now going to go ahead and keep the team alive quickly. Now remember, a lot of cooldown changes coming to this hero. Not on that patch quite yet. White Fox getting down low. Kidrick looking for some safety. Jitward and Cartwheel were not on the same page at the end of that Krakoa match. We'll see how they choose to go and flank. And oh my gosh, Usher locked in, loaded completely. Every single pellet Vic hit.
I was going to say, it's almost like he read my mind, because I was questioning here, the Star-Lord, no Gambit here, but you're still getting enabled with triple strat, and, that's unfortunate. Kendrick back against the wall. There is nowhere to run, nowhere to teleport to. The rest of your team is now on the cart, and currently Sentinels has split up. We Lost. They dwell in numbers, and Mask will at least be able to come back with a banhammer.
Oh my gosh, with the finish of the Scepter. Yeah, I think you should have heard me when I was like, I don't know about the Star-Lord. Hey, listen, prove me wrong, and I'm being done so already. Absolutely magnetic and not missing a shot. Cart already going on over to the Hulk, so change up happening very quickly for this team. 2 minutes, 50 seconds. I do like that because they're typically a slow adjustment team, Vic. As we've seen time after time, they've got to follow up on Mask's ult here to perfection. They also have the safety gate of Xantho if they need. But if someone's ult tracking, they should have gone faster now as Karova somehow survives through that, flies out of the wheelchair into the Invis ult. But Usher now just hunting.
Something that we haven't been able to have the pleasure of seeing right after the Adam Warlock changes, being able to fly and displace yourself too. Going to be able to try to provide the backup because Jitward is trying to find an opening to enable Zatex with the Dance of the Butterflies. They back away, but they lost out on 2 of the strats. But it's okay. The passive is still online for Karova. He could come right back and look at that. He is so close to the Karmic Revival.
Rise, my friends, born again, echoes through the halls of the museum now as everybody comes alive. Yusher is just on an absolute tear here with the double pistol. So clean, legendary moment. Now, I was going to go ahead and back up and get ready for the next fight. Minute and 50 seconds. Still feels like there's a lot of time, though, for Yeah, We Lost, but they've committed now Xantho. Kendrick has got to lock in.
Seeing the back-to-back, I was wondering when it was going to come out. The chains have been broken, and Mask rolls in with the Thor cart, jumping together while Jitward getting harassed. Flamay pulls him in, and Santos claps back onto Dogman. Trade for trade. The only difference is you'll have a portal to play, as Dogman will be able to come in with the Eye of Agamotto. The sustain is here for Kendrick, but out of positioning is going to be the Invisible Man, and with no passive active from Kurova, that's two of the strategists out. Amazing calls in the Kumiho Unleash, but you have to worry about diving down on the God of Thunder.
Man.
It's found Amazing, and Mask is having a ball. Welcome to the circus, as Thor is having a good time here, and unfortunately the portal is right on the back end of the bus.
Yeah, unfortunate elimination order there, right? Dogman was able to see if his whole team was wiped or not, and then decided to use the portal. The eye is open, and now it is going to be thrown, but nothing connecting there. It is going to force the ults, though, as the Devil is let out. Jibber looking for more. Crimzo rising the tide of freedom. The Avengers leading the way behind them, but Yusher has the mixtape in, looking for that quick pick. Going to go ahead and dive in. Someone to follow. Hulk going up. It's going to be Cart, who's been a monster on this hero. For amazing trades now quickly. Mask going down. Cart to trade as well. Vicky, it's either or here.
Oh, he got D-Hulk at the very same time. Oh, Zatex clapping back here. Yeah, we lost. Zatex still sticking to the side like Cart following up. Yusher does find Jitward, but the numbers excel in the favor of Yeah, we lost, trying to get to this very first checkpoint.
Yeah, gonna go to get this first point. Portal is out, and Cart has done such a good job. I mean, how many maps have we seen where Cart just seems undeniable? You know, cannot get him out of there on those moments where you have to get that last pick. Zatex locking in too with the quick left, right, left done. Now with the stagger, they're able to push up, make some space. They want to push in here. Most teams like to go ahead and push in, try to get this midway point because this corner can be tough. And this is exactly kind of where they folded, Vic, against TLC.
We don't want history to repeat itself here. Oh my god, Whiplash, by the way. They stop Mask. If it's not the charm, it's the pull in here from the Invisible Woman. Kurova has got the Born Again, the Karmic Revival. Kumiho Unleash was utilized from Kendrick before Cart dives back in together, puts down the bubble before jumping right back together with the rest of the team. But this is for Sentinels to set up after making some adjustments themselves.
Yeah, they can play very special here because they've got the Born Again into the Agamotto, and with Crimson getting a pick, man, this really gives them a lot of favorable advantage. We'll see how they choose to attack this. The Born Again being huge. They don't even need it right now. Let's just get it done with the neutral. That's going to go ahead and reset with his low-key Thor skin on. And right now, I mean, Vic, Sentinels have a lot of different options because, yeah, we lost. We're going to have to charge up in this neutral. If you're Sentinels, you almost don't want to use all that much. Just rely on one of the big win cons in this next fight. Could be Dogman if you want to go that way, but almost like just the Kurova build. Yeah, here, I start with this and go aggressive. I agree.
Putting it down already preemptively with Flamay also taking a good chunk of that damage. It does bring Yusher back, and now just trying to contest them. It's going to be the Invisible Boundary. Kurova getting stunned at the same time. Finding Santos is huge because the Invisible Boundary for Yeah, we lost was right around the corner. Kurova brings back Crimzo as the res was still active, and Jitward is trying to make magic happen on the dual pool, and after they shut him down, the big difference here is, Cozy, is the sustain enough for Yeah, we lost when you're dealing with the triple strat that is Sentinels on this hold.
That res was up for what seemed like forever, man. I can't believe Crimson got brought back with it and was a part of the Elim feed to follow. But yeah, they didn't use anything outside the Kurova. That's exactly what they wanted. Now look at just the great visibility here of Yusher, knowing exactly where they want to go. Oh, getting low. They do get the pick here, and Zatex with the 1-2. The OK go has been pushed. Now moving forward, Dogman can go ahead and throw out what he's got, but nothing connecting there. Cart fights with the fist. All he needs is now Hulk jumps. He's angry. 13 seconds here. A lot of fight to win, Vic. This is going to be a very tough look for Yeah, we lost. There's so much to go up against. It's Monster Hulk coming up. Invisible Flames coming on. As Xantho gets a pick.
He's juggling the captain, though. Find me at the circus. It's going to be the cart show here. Even though Crimzo was stalling for so long, he's had enough. Breaking it down now. Cart is angry, and Kendrick is following up. Kumio Unleashed catches Yusher, and with overtime ticking away, you got to look at the cart, because right now, we did see that Crimzo was able to stall for a very long time. They finally call him out. The Doctor Strange rollout from Dogman, and they're getting ever so closer to that second checkpoint.
Hit him with the puny god, right? Slammed him back and forth. Now, what's cool about this is Kendrick can easily just get the charm out here to get rid of the portal. There's a lot of ways that they can go ahead and get rid of that portal if needed. Dogman, though, go ahead, push in, and Jitward is just all the way holding W. The absolute lethality of this tank pool is here. Cart finds another. It's a Crimzo as a big one. I cannot believe, Vicky, the perfect play. And honestly, how does Sentinels end up not even looking any part of making that close?
Cart is at the gym right now. Like, he is getting his reps in, and it is terrifying to deal with the damage output that both Cart and Mask are putting in. What beats triple strategist, by the way, Cozy? Triple Vanguard. That's why you're seeing the Van Pool. That's why you're seeing the oppression, the pull-in onto Crimzo. I hope everyone is taking notes. If you struggle with dealing with this composition from the other end, Zatex has Dance of the Butterflies coming shortly, and Xanthos does have the survivability on the invisible boundary.
Oh my gosh. Was it a hustle there? It looked bad on the Hulk on the first map, so they didn't get it banned. They didn't even have to save it. Now coming out full form. Legendary ready. Kendrick now trying to find more. Oh, the connection on Yusha. They've been able to continue to find that quick pick, and that takes away so much of this team's damage output now with the sword, the execution. They group up together only to fall once more in the spawn, and they're pushing all the way in. Are you joking me?
All right. You know what? The calm before the storm, Cozy. I always have to say it because I guess when it comes to this third checkpoint, it is difficult, but it's even crazier to see how the rest of Sentinels are just funneled up like a sandwich just for the Dance of the Butterflies to unleash.
Yeah, you know that I didn't see Jitward in there, so I want to know where he's at currently on the map. But yeah, no, awesome job. It's kind of just been, I would say, since the 13-second mark on point 2, just a little bit of a stagger fest, right? I mean, good job knowing when to push up. Did you see how, yeah, we lost, like, waited there in that room? Obviously, you have, like, the portal at play, and it's a tough look when to go in, you know, on that aggression 4.2, and it's been the Achilles heel of this team a lot. I think they played that perfectly.
You're asking where Jitward is. I'm just hoping that maybe not one of these pauses as well will catch Jitward running into a wall again. We're going to have to find out what happened, everybody, with that quick pause, because we want to make sure everybody here in this lower bracket, when it's do or die, gets to get everything ready and load back in. But I also want to just highlight maybe what's going wrong here for Sentinels, Cozy, because Yusher is getting whiplash. He's literally getting grabbed. Yeah. He's getting pulled in. They're jumping on his head. Mask has other plans for him, taking him to the side room. Is this Star-Lord really going to work out when it's not like you have a Raging Royal Flush to work off of it?
Yeah, for sure. They've continued to find him, right? Like, he's kind of been their lookout for them, but they've continued to know exactly where he is. Xantho even getting a part of a lot of that, but it's Zatex that just has his eyes on Yusher at all times, because when you're playing this comp, right, you just rely so much on what Yusher's role is, and that has honestly been this team through and through, right? If Yusher's able to make that big difference of that damage that they're losing out on, they win. We saw that with 100 Thieves and the crazy ults and plays that they had. He's doing well, but they've been able to at least shut that down for now, and that has them struggling into the duck floaty part of the map.
And then you also look at Kurova. As much as I love seeing the Adam Kurova coming out with the ultimate nerfs that we have across the board, you're splitting that between two other strategists, so it's going to delay the ultimates for the survivability that you may need to lean on. Is it going to be enough? Maybe a BRB coming through. As I do hear the game, guys, let's dive right back into the action. We just saw Zatex clear off that side room. No more Kumio Unleash for Sentinels.
And Jitward was there, so he's nice and healthy, but Sentinel's going to go ahead and lose out on Dogman one more time. With that Agamotto, though, in the legendary prep, this is going to be huge because Cart has the ult ready as well. This is going to be a long fight in overtime, folks. Strap up. It could be a 1-1 here if they're able to get a full push and hold to follow. The legends are in the sky. Yusha's been that for Sentinels thus far in the playoffs. Now going to go a quick pop of the ult, waiting till that health goes down to the 0. Agamotto's soul comes out. They're trying to find the banner. Down goes 1,500 health at a snap of a flick of a wrist now. Zatex finding more. Oh, the click, the dash. The assassin is at play. The X-Men's going crazy.
Oh, somebody help LeMay. He cannot stay up any longer.
No.
Corova, though. The board again. They're so
Not
close
enough time.
to the finish line. They're trying to stall here. They jump in. Is it going to be enough? The pushback. The God of Thunder himself has another statement. Amazing had rolled out earlier on with the Ultron, but he cannot see Zatex through the water slide. That is his floaty.
Oh, man. From point 2 onwards, perfect, but Crimso throws up. The fat lady isn't singing yet, he says, as he throws in the ult. Dogman behind as the Venom to stall as much as possible. Overtime singing. Card, though, throwing out the fists, one after the other. Hulk angry, Card angry, and yeah, we lost. Get the cap.
Pretty accurate Hulk lore, by the way. Cart, now you know why we've seen the Hulk banned onto Yeah, we lost. Cartman is literally a beast. Sentinels, their plans squashed. That forced out the Wi-Fi swap up from Amazing very quick there. That's why we saw him go over to the Ultron on that third point. It's even better too, honestly, when you have more of that verticality and you can play off the balcony. But he couldn't even get out of the spawn room gate.
Yeah, man, I'm just surprised on how quickly they were able to flip that script. And man, even with the Born Again, when that hit Vic after the full team wipe, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be tough. But he had to hit it from far away, and then at that, Amazing coming out as the poor Ultron. It was anything but the age of, because Zatex was ready with the quick combo. It was in quite literally the worst location you could be. But yeah, Cart went full Cart mode, and when he does, right, the rest of the team just echoes the bells of victory. Jumping in, though. Have to put up a great defensive effort here. And they typically don't go Hulk on the defense almost ever, Vic. So we'll see how this works out. Mass does go cap, though, every single time. It's usually the Venom in the cap we see from them.
And I just want to know, like, how much Cart is benching out here, because on this Hulk, this is the scariest thing to deal with. It's just a Hulk running in your face and then having to look behind you, because Zatex on this Psylocke is continuously harassing you while Jitward is just jumping on your heads. They're expecting the rollout from Sentinels, though, as they come out on the triple strat in the form of the strat pool, and with the triple Vanguard lineup from Yeah, we lost. It's found its success, Cozy.
Absolutely. Now, let's see how Sentinels choose to approach this. Energy made Winter Soldier a thing on this map against this team right here, right now. So, Yusha going to go ahead and get out the hook and see what they can do. Crimso looking dangerously low, going to rotate back. Right now, Yeah, we lost. Playing aggressive, but within their limits. Mass now running back as well. We close. Look at the ults already charged up to the maximum. Xantho close to it at any moment. Going to be the first to be able to pop it. Masto finds the captain, barely staying alive.
Ooh, the pocket, though. The pocket from the Invisible Woman comes in clutch and allows Kendrick to also reposition. You're going to be able to activate the strap pool ultimate first here. Dogman does get stunned. Amazing is very close to the extermination. With Dogman finding Jitward, they will not be able to contest with a Banhammer off the Van pool.
Alrighty, so just like that, holding forward, space has been made. Xantho with that boundary and the aggression to follow. Keep your eyes on the Angry Hulk, and here it comes. Love this play. They're going to initiate the first soft dive with Kendrick. He can't go down, is going to go down, but staying alive after that ult. Does find the pick to follow. Are you kidding me? Xantho with the boundary to keep the team nice and healthy, and now you've got Cart activated ready. They won't even need it as Crimso activates the bell, and bam! The pop from the Winter Soldier. It's Cap and Bucky like the good old days.
What year is this? Usher slams down again. Can we hear another one? Zatex had popped in with the Dance of the Butterflies, and Cart is still angry. He still finds another pick, but he looks behind him. Where is everyone? Dogman has found Jitward again. Dogman's target priority onto Jitward has been back-to-back, but they do note that there is someone behind them.
They got 2 fights to go, at least, with what they have in store for this last bit of push. Maybe one more fight, depending on how they play it out. But Cart ready to go angry. Other than that, Kurova with the advantage. We'll see how they choose to use it. Oh, going invisible now. Keep the team up nice and healthy. Mass going for the follow, and the anti-pressure on the other side. Finds Kurova. Are you kidding me? Oh, again. Goodbye. That's going to be a wipe.
Literally the back-to-back. Kurova's gone down twice while he's had the ult. And get over here. I feel like I've seen this somewhere, Cozy. Hulk is upset, and he finds it again. Yeah, we lost. Are claiming heads. This defensive side of Yeah, we lost are stomping Sentinels and their plans.
The Freedom died, man, right there. I could hear it. I could feel it. We got Zatex now going after Crimso once again, using that Protect on the Cap. They seem to have the answer for it thus far. User getting down low yet again. But Flamay going to get Kendrick out, and that opens up so much. That ult now gone.
No!
But Zatex, are you kidding me?
Oh, Korova can't play the game. He was literally in the animation to putting down the invisible boundary. At least he didn't like get KO'd with it, but Zatex now could just go crazy. Dance with the butterflies. Can Korova play the game is the question.
Yeah, the Q button was like 3/4 press, but did not come all the way down. Mass just going to do their best job to stay alive. Good rotation here, actually. Staying alive through it. Now, looking at what they have available. Oh, Zatex activating this very early just to trigger the ult. I'm all about it because Korova did fall with that early. It's been a century since we've seen the boundary. Kendrick going to fall, though. And it's going to make it a bit more tough.
Rallying up the troops, though, is going to be Crimzo with the freedom charge. Is it going to be enough of the freedom as the Sioux is trying to find their own freedom back away? Santos cannot get away. Sending them back together is going to be Jitward, though, and they're following up on the tail ends of Mask and their own freedom charge. You're down to less than 10 seconds, and Crimzo has done what Crimzo needed to do, and it's isolate the problem. You find one strategist, and then you find Zatex. You talk about the stall potential, and there's no survivability. It's just a matter of time before Sentinels get this first checkpoint.
Yeah, good job here, just resetting, calming down the mess and the pure chaos behind it. Gonna go find the Sioux once again. Xantho just trying to stay alive from Crimzo. Crimzo going off like crazy. Finds the health back to no avail. It's gonna be now Xantho finding the grave again. Crimzo putting the team on the back. A sustain now. Dogman finds one, the other. The points theirs. They used everything to hold it. Overtime, not a factor now. Somehow still keeping this thing alive, but it is gonna be on to point 2.
That was so hard. And we even saw Kendrick, by the way, try to roll out on the Magic out of the portal. All right, Kendrick, you swap right back over to the White Fox. We will not be seeing that. And Cozy, I'm wondering, like, do we okay, I like this. Thankfully we make some switches here, because I was going to say, don't stick to the triple strategist if you are getting countered at this point. It barely worked for that first checkpoint. It really was crucial to get some of those early picks from Crimzo. He really helped out the rest of the Sentinels here, and even with Dogman making the swap over to the Emma Frost to try to get the grab onto Zatex.
Yeah, I agree, Vic. 100%. 156 and counting. We'll see how they choose to use this first bit here. Dogman does have the eyes on the thigh. It's going to go ahead and throw it out there right away now. It's going to be on the Monster Hulk. Even the big guy's distracted. Trying to rotate over. 247 and down. Nice job in the finish of Xantho. Able to heal up the Hulk and get the flush and the slam dunk on the Crimzo.
Usher now getting some revenge, too. Onto Zatex. Back to the spawn room gates as Jitward with some love off the Sen jersey, by the way. We have to pinpoint that. Is going to have that 1v1 duel. Amazing comes out on top. The deflect comes in, and Cart, after being able to carry so much of this weight through his punches, he gets the bubble down. Xantho gets the invisible boundary, and Sentinels, they're waiting and they're hungry because they have everything to throw in the kitchen sink.
The strategist shackles are off for Amazing now as the Devils ready to be let out. Right there with the dance of the butterflies. We'll see 55 seconds. This is such a tough point to cap, and you have to almost eliminate them in a perfect position now, as Yusher is going to find all three go down. Wow, fantastic job. At this point, Kendrick just ulting not at the right time. Maybe just trying to keep this thing going, but it does cause Flamay to do the same. 1-2 trade is going to be yet again. It's going to be such a close mirror match here.
It's Korova getting harassed, by the way, once again from Jitward, and then looking at Zatex. They're over there! They just dive on it. The extermination team to take out the Zatex, but the dance of the butterfly now comes in from Usher, freedom charge from Mask, and when Zatex comes back around, they'll have their own dance of the butterflies. That's a big pick-off. There is no sustain left from Sentinels. They do not have any of the strategist ultimates.
Perfect play at the nick of time. Comes the Merc with the mouth. And the finish, great bubble there from Carr, keeping the team alive through the Psy ult. Zatex with the exclamation point. Time has run out. It is 1-1, folks. We're going all night here in the America scene.
Yeah, we won this time around on their map choice. Museum of Contemplation still proves to be one of, we lost best maps. Talk about the Cart Hulk, though, Cozy. I think we'll probably get a Hulk ban following up.
Yeah, you know, it's like they were able to get that through. That's why their protectors come there a lot of the time for the Hulk in the second half. 37-5. Absolutely disgusting with the 15. And the flip of the script in the stat department. Usher did well there, but it was once they got rid of that tank pool was just a bit of a different story. Yeah, picks were happening, but it seems like the whole team was off and was not able to recover from there. Either way, though, it is 1-1. This is crazy. We're late in the night. We're having a great time here. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break.
Yeah, we lost Playground, and they are right back into this series as we are tied up 1-1 now. And begs the question, Vicky, should we be banning Hulk? Because it is very terrifying to play against this Hulk right now.
Or is the Psylocke still dominating? Because everybody, please help Korova, help this backline. If you're going to be running triple strat, you got to at least try to enable the triple strat to work. If it's not going to work because you're dealing with the triple Vanguard, maybe triple duelist here. But I'm not expecting that to happen at all, because then we get to see Crimzo and Dogman do what they do best. Crimzo trying their best. There definitely needs to be a swap up, and I do think that Sentinels decided to change things up a little too late, Gaskin.
And I do think if you think back to the interview we had with Fox as well, there is a lot on map selection, there is a lot on what people are strong with and which teams are going to be winning on certain maps, certain modes. So I don't think Sen should be too disheartened here, because we just know how good, we lost are on Museum of Contemplation. But as we move to map 3 here, Cozy, do you think that Sentinels going with their own pick, they should be able to go back to their strengths here?
Yeah, we lost have struggled on this map, but they do have a hidden buff right now. They've got that 2 a.m. gamer fuel. This is when we're just getting started, the late nights. Like, these guys are game rank demons, and they're always playing through the night. Sentinels, Crimzo, you're getting old, man. Can you play the wee night of the hour? No, but seriously, I think it's going to be fun to see as this thing continues to go on. I do like the pick on the map. Definitely, I think, is strong for Sentinels. Going back now forever. This is a map they always go to when things get a bit shaky. And kind of just resetting. But again, I think the pick ban phase is going to look a lot different for sure on the protection front. The cap is still definitely worth the save, though, Vic.
Yeah, I think we even saw like Sentinels beat FlyQuest on Hall Jolly, so I like how you pinpoint that, and that makes you wonder, like, do we still lean onto the protect on the captain? We've seen the stall potential roll out from Crimzo. It's helped sometimes, but I also think there's just been so much control of CC, whether it comes to dealing with Cart, getting these stuns, jumping back over to the strategist, popping those bubbles, then you get pulled back in if you're Crimzo trying to run away because of the Invisiwoman. So are we also gonna see maybe a Doctor Strange ban? I keep wondering that, because we did see Sentinels kind of hover over it, but then the priority is you only have so many pick and bans, right? The Psylocke is obviously a problem, so you have to pinpoint where the Psylocke is. You go over to the Emma Frost at one point in the very beginning when you try to roll out, and it didn't get the impact that it needed because Zatex was still just having their way with the strat backline.
Well, I do wonder, Cozy, do you think there is any extra pressure on Sentinels here because, we lost the unsigned MRC roster that's coming through, that's shaking things up, whereas Sen, partner team, expectations should be to get further in this tournament. When does that start being piled on their shoulders here? Or do you think they're already going to be under it at 1-1?
Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, I think Crimzo, he tweeted yesterday, he's like, yay, not last place. Like, I think they're happy with where they've gotten right now. But also, yeah, I mean, like, even Fox said, hey, it's going to be a 3-0. Like, there are expectations from them. But, hey, this team's going to lock in, and they're not going to let that quick dream die so soon. Gaskin.
Well, it's going to be Sen on the attack. We lost. We'll be defending first as we move over to map 3. Can we see we lost take the lead and maybe take Sen even further into this best of 5? Only one way to find out, and you've got the wonderful Vicky Kitty and Cozy.
Vicky, before we start, quick shout out to all the viewers still watching the Marvel Madness, the watch parties way late into the night. I can feel the eyes burning from a mile away as we are in the location. Wakanda, the name. Gonna be now the Elsa ban up top. Making sure Yusher still not going to get that comfort pick. Gambit on as follows. And look at the priority they give now to Dongmin getting that tank pool.
I love how you also brought up like the late night power up, because literally it's true. Whenever I'm playing Cozy, I'm just so honest. I'm like, all right, here we go. Time for the unemployed lobbies here, and we gotta get set up and ready to go though, because that's not something that you could say when it comes down to the pathing that these two teams have had to take to get exactly to where they are. Because remember, $50,000 prize pool. The team that wins out of this will be able to move on through the bracket, find themselves in that third place spot with 1K extra compared to whoever falls in this series. The Daredevil is going to be protected. I like this because, once again, it's another one of those Hall of Jalia. You get that information. I also think the Vamp pool, Protect from Sentinels, goes crazy, but with Yowie Lost having the same potential since it's not banned out for them, it's another scaling opportunity for them to get more damage output.
No, that's a great point there, Vic. And with this next set of bans, it's funny. They're going to go with the White Fox, right? It's like, okay, you tried to save that early now and you used it on the tank pool. Fine, we'll get rid of that, right? Amazing. What else can you flex into? If it's the Ultron, I think Zatek can handle that just fine and dandy. The save themselves going to go over to Kendrick's side of the White Fox. But there is the cart ban. The only way to stop Hulk isn't bullets. It's banning him.
Hey, yo, Dogman, I hope he's here. Hopefully he'll be able to come back in together. But I do like this decision. We were talking about the impact that Cart had. Obviously, Psylocke is very easy to deal with. It's just about bringing that attention to protecting that backline. But as long as you take care of the Hulk, that's another damage follow-up that you could just take off the table. The Jeff as well, as we know, Jeff is very good on Hall of Jalia. And we've seen what Yowie Lost could do when it comes to the flexibility of this backline. The Jeff Protect, though, now goes over to Sentinels because, once again, not surprised, we're probably going to see the triple strategist roll out from Sentinels.
All right, last save. Yes, the Jeff. And the last ban to follow. Now, yeah, we lost. Has gone with a couple things here. They're going to Star-Lord. Just a pure ban Usher. Nope. Going to be Rymazing. So this is their Rymazing target ban at this point, right? Going to get rid of the Fox. Going to get rid of the Ultron flex pick as well. So does he go? Interesting. So maybe Mantis here has been a lot of the comfort. If not, taking the strat shackles off and just going pure duelist. A lot of options. Daredevil was shown at the end. I don't think they're too afraid of that. Right, taking his time for a second. Oh, no.
Okay, they're trolling me. They're trolling. All right, you know what? Remember what I said, Cozy. It's Vicky After Dark. Whatever happens after this is not my fault. But you know what? With these pauses, hopefully they'll be able to get everybody in. We were making the joke too in our last pause that it was Jitward. It was actually Crimzo. So just putting that note because we can't even put everything onto Jitward, even though we see it sometimes from his own respective stream and in that first map. But hopefully we did see that Dogman may have a connection issue, so we have to make sure everybody is loaded in for Sentinels because guys. In this last series of the day in Americas, it is currently tied 1-1 apiece. We are nearing Demon Hours, 2 a.m. almost here for the East Coast. I hope you guys, East Coast lovers, rise up because this is going to be another gigabanger. Yeah,
it's like 2 a.m. I raise you 5 a.m. Vicky, checkmate. Yeah, no, I think what's to me going to be interesting too, so as we don't yap on like the same things, is that if you look towards ahead. Again, both these teams losing in a very dominant way over to Liquid Citadel. But if Sentinels can escape with this, I feel like they were able to kind of buff through that lower bracket and continue to refine and reshape themselves than what we saw at the beginning of the playoffs.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I actually really like that pick and ban phase. Like, even if, I think you mentioned it, like, if Sentinels, even though they won't have the Ultron, they'll at least, if they want to roll out with the Mantis, we've seen Rymazing, once again, very flexible player, go over to the Mantis. Then you get damage boost on the table, and then you'll be able to help, hopefully, enable Usher a lot more, because that's been another shutdown that we're seeing a lot, is Usher's not getting the impact that Usher needs to get when there may be a lack of duelist damage being put out onto the side of Yowie Lost.
That's a good point, Vic. And with the way they decided to go with the picks and the bans, I feel like Dogman on that comfort pick, though, is definitely going to give them plenty of at least the moxie that they need to go in and clean this. It's their map. It's their decision moving forward if they can continue this thing on. Either way, we face a 2-1 Vicky. I will buy the full winning team new routers. It's on me. I promise.
Look, Cozy, the GOAT right now. Cozy, the savior. Cozy, save them. Yeah, we lost, and Sentinels maybe dealing with some things in the back end. We have to make sure everyone's going to load in here. Before we find out more, guys, though, thank you so much for your patience and sticking with us in the late night hours of Marvel Rivals Ignite. I love the fact that we've been able to see such great action from the teams here in the preseason, and even noting maybe some changes before we start off in our Stage 1.
Absolutely. And yeah, just listen, if you're just now coming into the action, it has been just a complete playoffs of 3-2s and every team testing the limits. I think we have a good idea of the top scene now, right? Obviously in the 1s and the 2s, but it's this whole cluster of the middle of the pack that in the preseason before with the predictions, we had no idea. No idea what the scene looked like. Getting a much better picture now, but also not really, because if you put any of these matches back up again, it's going to go to 5.
You know what bugs me though, Cozy? When we were sitting out on your podcast together with Shiv and we were going through our preds, this is funny because we all were looking at this form of Sentinels from the very beginning. Yes, we're implementing a lot more of these subs coming in, Mirror, like showcasing what they got in store for us. Korova, the meta not being very nice to Korova in general, as well as the kind of taking that away from the triple strategists with the ultimate nerfs that we've had across the board. Honestly, personally, it could take another like 10-15% hits, but it still elevates a lot of these interesting microplays when it comes to the damage boost and more of a duelist side of the strategist, and not just kind of hanging out on the back lines and just healing. So we have to see if that could benefit them in any way going into this map.
Well, the Yep session is over, but not yet for the game. We're going to take a quick break and allow everybody to get everything going. We will see you guys in just a minute to continue match number 3. Don't go anywhere. Cozy, Vicky, casting Ignite to the wee hours of the night. And we find ourselves in Wakanda. Vicky, you ready?
Oh, I've been ready, Cozy, and our players are loaded in. Guys, thank you so much once again for your patience, all you late night dwellers. Hopefully you're grinding rank with some MRI action happening in the background, because let's get this game going. It is tied 1-1 apiece. How long will this go on for, Cozy? And if you take a look again at the pick and binds, we have to refreshen the viewers here who may have gone to take a break. Jitward will have access to that Daredevil. Xanthos on that Invisible Man mask, no longer on the Thor, but will be on that Vanpool.
Alrighty, now the first offense approach from Sentinels. Again, Crimzo with an unorthodox pick there on the Venom. Didn't have great success at first on point 1. Different match. Like the attack first, though, and Flamay goes down instantly to Jitward. Absolutely starting off this with heat and aggression.
Love the way that they're opening things up already with the Shark taking a nap. Yeah, we lost. Already holding on to this defense. Masks very close already to that Vanpool ultimate on the Banhammer, but coming out of the gates is going to be Flamay. Sentinels having to do something a little different. Amazing could at least keep giving them that information. It's going to be Vanpool ult for Vanpool ult. Who's going to be getting the hammer first? As now Jitward's also trying to harass that backline.
Crimson does find the pick on Jitward, and Mask is going to go and counter there. Can they dive in with it? That's an early ult now as they find more. And the game is being played on the offensive side. Dongman now with the swap dispositioning. So what in the floating of the Deadpool there? Absolutely flying to the point, quite literally. Amazing finds ones and gets a quick exit as well. The 1-2, down goes the Devil. Do they even bother with the strange portal? It doesn't look like anybody switching, but you got the hero Jitward ready to get the stats going again on the KD.
They did make the swap over to the Strange in the hands of Zatex, who didn't originally want to swap because they were already very close to that ultimate, but they are going to be able to stall. It looks like the portal could come out in terms of timing thanks to Jitward rolling out on the Spider-Man. Jitward has done his job. I do not even know how he was still alive, by the way. Cart rolls back in together, and with the triple Vanguard and the double strategist from Yeah, we lost. They hold down the fort, but Jitward can't stay alive long enough because Amazing's upset as he finds a 2K and making it very close to the 3K because the health pack is not the insurance policy that he was looking for.
But they somehow are holding on. Zatex on the point. Yeah, Amazing said, you're going to try to target ban me? I'll show you what's up when I let the Devil out now. Flamay finding Xantho down. Nothing going to connect from there. But down goes Zatex and the last efforts of attempts. They were able to keep this thing on as long as possible. It's still a minute and 47 seconds. Quick work, says Rai, as he dusts off the baton and pushes forward Card into point number 2.
All right. They do it. Amazing is mowing down the lawn in unison, wall climbing alongside Crimzo, who's got the Feast of the Abyss. You sure? Also with the reset on the Ensong Inferno. Amazing's got them in their line of sight. They're diving together. The Feast of the Abyss allowing Santos to go down. Amazing getting enabled, and it's going to force out the White Fox ultimate. Is it going to be enough as the sun comes in? And Jitward has found the strategist. No survivability as Sentinels have noted that, and they have to try to stay alive. Banhammer coming in, and it's going to be Yeah, we lost. Who fall? Dogman finding Kendrick next.
Yeah, they've just shown it. When Dogman can play the Merc, they just are such a different team. And what a crazy pickoff there in the back line. Down goes Kendrick. The reset holds. And they picked this map for a reason. Comfort pick. Many times before. Crimzo splashes down quickly on the opposition. Soft dive going in, but the Galartrock's going to stop it quickly as well. Crimzo brought right back to the point that he started at with that Galartrock's coming up completely empty. Zatex wants that one back. Ready to fuel another monster shortly, but look out for Usher. Legend in the making, up in the air. No counters at all, Vic. They will not be able to get it in time.
It's gonna be hard here too, and Raimazing's also close to letting that double out. Nice sustain here. Korova just trying to stay alive. Jitward doing everything that we hate when it comes to being a strategist and dealing with a Spider-Man, but the peel's there. The banhammer is put onto Usher. Having that sustainability comes in clutch. Dogman putting down that bubble. Raimazing separating the rest of the team and following up together with the Venom. This is the follow-ups that we've been waiting for. Oh no, the back line cannot go anywhere. Backs against the wall. Raimazing and Crimzo are the duo we like to see.
Who needs legendary when you've got a couple legends? And it's just so comical that they went after Raimazing's heroes. And it's just like, okay, leave me the devil. You don't fear it, I'll make you fear it. Late into the night here. In 4K, no vision needed. Bam. Objection slams down Xantho out of this thing, and that's going to give them plenty of space, far more than the 1.3 MM they need. Korova with a ult, maybe to give survival. Don't know if they needed that, but hey, why not? 3 minutes, 25 seconds on the board. Jitward still on the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Now going over to the lawyer.
Cease and desist, though. And now it's going to be Sentinels. Walk in the park. I mean, with the invisible Korova, by the way, they're not going to get as much progress on the cart until he melees and goes out of invisibility. But the dive in, as the assassination comes in, the follow-up, Crimzo gets the ante, and Kendrick is there as the insurance policy that they paid for, just negating a lot of that damage, getting the sustainability and the reset that they needed, thanks to Zatex following up. Then you try to dive back in together, and yeah, we lost, are hungry. They're out for blood, and Jitward's upset. He came out originally on the Spider-Man, makes a swap over to the Daredevil.
Yeah, they will not play the game you want them to play. They're always going to keep this aggression up and ready. You're going to go tag Crimzo. Hey, if you want to hang out by us, we're going to keep on pushing you into that spawn. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Even though it seems like Sentinels have kind of firmly won this multiple times, Vicky. Yeah, we lost. Is doing great in terms of the time available. Jitward pushing a little bit too far. Xantho's got that ult, maybe doing a back defensive invisible boundary. And once again, coming up empty is the Apex Predator. The powerful ult finding nothing. Raimazing, though, going to go down. His cart doesn't have the Hulk, but has the Venom. Has all he needs as the Legends in the Sky pop. Xantho, though, keeping them nice and healthy. And it's Mask! Oh, my God! Goodbye!
For free? You're gonna do that right in front of Mask's face after he had the banhammer? The answer all along. I really like the positioning that we are seeing from Yeah, We Lost, even getting a little Venom v Venom violence, but being able to hold the split position, hang out to the high ground, and also we're getting more information. Crimzo does get caught by that trap, but they have some ultimates to work with here.
Yeah, it's the nighttime hours, Vicky, here now as the Daredevils are trading blow after blow. Who's going to win the Battle of New York? It's going to be the man, Crimzo, as now quickly, what a way to deal with it. Hey, you know how you get rid of a sticky Venom? You just bring him right to your own spawn. Delete that quickly. But I got to say, Vic, they burnt 2 minutes off this thing. And to boot, if you look at the ult rotation, right, they're going to have Kendrick, obviously Jitward. Zatex will have one more Apex. And just maybe you'll get the show from Xantho. So I do give favor a lot here to Yeah, We Lost a hold.
Yeah, that survivability, but Jitward would also be able to let the devil out. It's up to Korova to not go down, having the invisible boundary ready. Raimazing too, who he's going to activate it. The dive comes in, and it's Raimazing versus the world. Dogman then follows up. No sustainability. Make it another head, and Dogman gets the 3K. Can we see the 4K, or will they take it from him as Cart gets taken out? Raimazing, Dogman, together with Crimson, who had made the swap over to the cap, are going to be able to lead the charge.
They're giving them no time to breathe. The Zatex up close to the Apex. Now looking at it, this Crimson ult's going to be huge, though, Vic. They're going to have to peel their absolute dead bodies off this to get this W. Now Zatex going in. He's ready. Hungry missed two before, but the biggest, most important one can be now. Doesn't need it as two go down instantly. 14 seconds. Sentinels are falling at the worst time possible. Down goes another. Vicky, the hold is coming in the form of the neutral. Cart finds another portal coming to play. 3, 2, 1. It's going to be a little too late. There goes Crimzo, but everything's ready.
It's okay. Crimzo did his job, though, and the job was to force us into overtime. He may have gone down, but the portal is waiting to taxi him along. It's the pressure, as the portal placement also can help play around the line of sight from the back end, but you have to take care of Zaytex. He is literally playing ping pong right now. The Daredevil tag at the other side of Sentinels. We're on the other side of the portal, and Mask clears out another. Flamay gets hit with an anti, and no bodies left from Sentinels to contest him to the point to get this to the finish line.
Oh, man, I'm loving Mask here on the Deadpool, too, right? I mean, the tank pool play has just been tremendous. You know, put the hammer down for now, because what a way to hold strong and stop what was a pretty dominant Vic, right? Like, it felt like point 1 and 2 was just continue. It was the amazing show at times, but they were just stalling that thing consistently.
And that was with a lot of time originally when they were able to get that payload moving, right? So it was a great stall from We Lost, and it was such crazy aggression from Sentinels holding all the way up. Took a little bit of time to get that second checkpoint, and it was all because I feel like, at least within my own respective games, Cozy, once you find yourself staggering right after you get that second checkpoint, it can be so hard to come out of the gates if you're looking at a team like We Lost holding such split positioning, some on the high ground, some on the low ground, waiting for some of these ultimates to be unleashed. And a very expensive fight for Sentinels. It delayed the inevitable, but they got it very close to the finish line. We have to see how Sentinels does now on this defense.
Absolutely well said, Vicky. Now, We Lost. Such an aggressive team. This was the pick of Sentinels to hold down the fort, to advance, to get their shot, to get to that grand finals. This is for third place minimum. Everything on the line here in the first playoffs of year 2 for the preseason. Egos, money, org reputation, everything you want here as Yusher in the sky. Doing some quick scouting. Dogman standing perfectly still. Nobody can see him.
As long as I'm looking at this wall, I'll be invisible. Dogman, though, being the GOAT, trying to get the isolation off the bubble, putting in the pressure. Can there be a follow-up as Rymazing looking at them? Dogman, though, gets away with finding Zaytex after isolating the heals thanks to that bubble originally, and he survives, by the way. Rymazing isolates Kendrick, who wanted to push up. They see what's happening up on the high ground. It's Daredevil v. Daredevil, and after they take him to court, they take Jitward to the spawn room gates.
Yeah, that's for sure. Objection. Amazing popping off. No question about it. That was absolutely crazy and perfect way to shut down any momentum. Now looking at it, Mask has this ult, at least can open up the opportunity. I think if they're going to go ahead and use it, try to throw it there on Kurova. That will open up something for the team. Vic, they're going to go ahead and use this upper ground, but Dogman ready to respond in the same. Looks like they're going to go here, and there's the first press of the band hammer. It's Daredevil going off. Jitward trying to find some connection. Yusher dangerously low. Got to keep him up. He's not going to be able to make it. Yes, Blitz survives. Are you kidding me?
Talk about survivability, by the way, with the Animal Crossing backline here. Flamingo coming in clutch, but Zaytex has clicked on Crimzo right before he could hide away behind the wall. Xantho trying to stay alive. They want to have this dance off. The survivability is right around the corner for We Lost. And while Zaytex is having a highlight reel, the Elsa diff is real here for themselves. It's not like Sentinels could rock on Elsa on their own.
Caught the pixel on Crimzo's shoe on that frame, Vicky. Now holding the W. And this is what's so crazy. Even though Sentinels did so well, like 4 minutes, 39 seconds, that's an eternity for the team that just got the win back. Again, able to come back quickly after the domination loss earlier that we saw in this playoffs. Doing it yet again. Snowflake out. Xantho very aggressive. Going to lose Kendrick early and now forced to play very awkwardly. They're going to have to... And honestly, the space they have, Vic, is quite a lot because Zaytex is just farming in the front. Somebody, one of the tanks, have to peel up and try to deal with it, but it's going to be the Glortron.
Oh, my.
No, the Legend of the Sky at least gets one, but Rymazing falls.
Yusher gets a little bit of revenge, and with Crimzo falling incredibly low, just having to back away, this kind of builds up even more space for We Lost to push up on, but Sentinels reclaim the point for now on this defense. There's still a lot of time, though, in the time bank. They've marked Crimzo, Flamay floating around on the Rocket Raccoon. The Sia is activated here, ready to unleash. They put it down. Crimzo gets frozen. He stays alive. Talk about a clutch moment as the It's Jeff is unleashed. Is it necessary here as Jitward does find Crimzo? It's a problem, but Yusher Yusher did exactly what he needed to do. But Crimson still needs help. The It's Jeff at least catches a Daredevil. It looked like, oh no, it doesn't here on the other side.
No.
It does actually. It's isolated him. It's caught Jitward. And now this forces Santos to fall afterwards.
Yeah, now just falling kind of awkwardly, right? Because falling like they have is just introduce the stagger. Get back together. You have 3 minutes and more. But look out. Devil ready. Mass trying to get some poke rolling. Like the approach. Maybe go with a soft dive. No, here comes Crimzo going for it. The Xantho immediately gonna pop ready. And my gosh, the dash up and the quick finish. Stay off my strategist, yells Zatex, putting this game into his own hands. Vicky, this has just been perfect mechanical play.
Makes you wonder if you could have the CC changes right now and what it could do, but that's not the patch we're playing on, assembling the troops after Kendrick catches Dogman and also deals so much damage onto Crimzo, who's trying to navigate away, who also gets caught with the Feast of the Abyss. Cart in the form of the Venom together with Zatex. They are mowing down the lawns of Sentinels.
Gamer hours, Vicky, the 3 AM buff. It's here, it's now. Did you even see someone got stuck in the Diablo trap? Like, look at these Diablo traps are perfect, man. Just always giving room and space for them to play around, and one of these pesky Vanguards to get caught in it. Right, amazing. Running for his life at this point now. Low and is not going to be able to escape. Goes down as well. 3 minutes, 40 seconds to push. Vicky, so much advantage here in terms of ult, in terms of how it's rolling for them, forcing now a lot of adjustments.
Thank goodness. I was about to say, like, this Animal Crossing backline is not going to work out with the amount of damage output that we lost are putting in. Like, we had to change out yesterday. But Flamme and Korova, they understood the assignment. They make the swap. And Yusher, the fact that we're seeing more Bucky, too, by the way, Cozy, has been interesting. Because, once again, like, they're not playing on the most recent patch. Yusher's going to roll out to see if he can get some resets in. Dogman, too. But the Glartrox has other plans. Thanksgiving came early, and everybody is feasting. Thanks to Zatex delivering on the table. Hart is taking some dessert, though, with him, and the rest of Sentinels have been wiped out.
Oh, my gosh. Absolute perfect play. Now you've got the show ready to go. Mass with the ult as well. This is going to be a deletion, Vic. They have nothing to deal with this. Hold W like you've been doing. They have nothing. This is going to be complete domination of Q's press. Xantho, Jitward have it ready if needed. Dogman getting low. Zatex has been farming out. Don't let him drop. There goes the show. Up and ready. Damage boost to follow. Doesn't need it. Dogman, goodbye. Visit the spawn 2 meters away. Once again, going to be Daredevil out as well. Vicky, this is going to be their map to claim. 2-1 is moments away. Mask trying to find more cart. The Fox, everything is out, but my gosh, somehow, some way, Flamme gets out an old Korova to follow. There's double madness.
Yeah, but when Flamme had used the God of Mischief and the Eternal Bond, 3 of Sentinels still went down. Yusher couldn't even get the reset off of the Kraken impact, so it didn't get the impact that I wanted, but at least it allowed the stall to happen to allow Amazing to get this pick and to stop the assault that we lost have been putting down. Letting the devil out, though. Is there any holy water to hold him back? No, there isn't. The follow-ups from Amazing as Sentinels successfully push back we lost. They still have a minute and less than 50 seconds on the clock.
Yo, that's 2 for 2. The Cozy Curse exists, right? It's like it looks so done, finished, and in a way, Sentinels fight back. Feels like that was down to the overtime, but still 2 minutes on the board. Plenty of time for We Lost to continue to farm. Would have liked to see more aggressiveness there because Sentinels had nothing at that point. Instead of being reactive, that comes down to the ult tracking. Either way, though, you got 1 minute 24. Dogman ready. Apex Predator going to be huge for Zatex, who's just been hitting them all. Crimson with good rotation, and there it is. Going to go on the more survival end there for the Dogman ult.
Amazing taking a quick trip, but it's fine. The rest of his team, though, trying to help him out. He gets taken out by Zatex in the process after he was one. And yes, as you mentioned, Kendrick is going crazy. The back-to-back. Are you kidding me? And no reset once again from Yusher. If you're going to swap over to the Bucky, you need to get this impact. You at least get the grapple, and you stop the push from Mask. And the fact that Sentinels have been able to reverse this when the number advantage was still in We Lost's favor is crazy. It's all thanks to the spawn room gates being right behind them, too.
I mean, just insanity, but I mean, no one's even spawning because you're getting deleted. How did they stay alive through that? Crimzo, my God, are you kidding me? And now at this point, 32 seconds, Vic, all that advantage vanished away. This would be a hold, a story-told one, as now it's going to be Cart. Feast the Abyss, absolutely hungry for more. Kendrick has the Fox as well. We'll see if Jitward can get in online to follow. Mass now farming quickly. Going through that cooldown, though, it's going to be an important one now as everything coming. It's going to be the Fox that initiates. Kendrick diving in. We'll see if the Feast comes with it. Powers are his. It's going to be Flamade. Got a Mischief coming out. Here comes Cloak and Dagger. Mask in the trade. Becky, everything's gone.
In the form of Flamay and the God of Mischief, they have to keep Korova alive to get the next set of the Eternal Bond because the survivability is here for Yeah We Lost. Sentu's going to have the dance off. You're going to be able to have the Banhammer on. And you find Flamay. Korova doesn't have ult yet. He's almost at 99. He has to stay alive. He pops it. And the overtime sinking down keeps him alive. You sure? Actually keeps us going together with the sustain. You cannot miss these shots. Zatex is dancing on him. He's moving. He tries to take the 1v1. And Korova with the Terror Cape. The Clartrox again. Sentinels are not bowing out just yet. When the world needed him the most, it is Yusher on this Bucky. And together with the survivability from this backline, Cozy.
Loud noises, Vicky. We just shout. It was just... I mean, there was absolute chaos all over. And the fact that the Feast of the Abyss coming in with the Glartrox, nothing. It didn't even look that way. Didn't matter. Talk about bending, not breaking at any moment. That was a statistical impossible hold that they continue to have. Look at the stat. Hey, go ahead and target ban Rymazing one more time. Disgusting.
That is... 27 final hits, 22 for like Zatex honestly could not have done more. Thankfully we caught off the Animal Crossing backline. I mean, I'm screaming crazy. I'm probably gonna have a noise complaint soon here on the East Coast, guys. But the fact that we have Flamay and Korova cycling through those ultimates. Korova, by the way, living at like less than 30 HP and getting the Eternal Bond when he was like at 30 HP at 98% ultimate is what saved the day. Together with Yusher making that swap over to the Bucky. Sure, if those resets didn't come out, it's fine. It's dealing with the threat that is Zatex from afar when Rymazing cannot.
Yeah, and I just didn't like, if I'm being honest, Vicky, some of the approach that they had with the ults. I mean, unfortunately, every time they were ready to, like, do the game plan, Flamay with the ult yet again to carry that potential and that momentum, or Sentinels. It's like they always had that hero moment. But, man, some things held on to a bit long. Either way, it is now 2-1. Sentinels game away from at least getting third place or higher. From last to third, what a story, but yeah, we lost. Looking to fight back. Don't go anywhere. Quick break, and we'll be back.
Everyone to Marvel Rivals after night because we're going all night, baby. We're back in because Sen somehow, some way, they get it done. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought, yeah, we lost. Surely had it. Don't worry, Jay. I am still awake and thriving because I've got to support these two incredible commentators we have. Vicky, Cozy, you guys have been crushing it, and for good reason. This series deserves it. How on earth did Sen just pull that off, Vicky?
Korova lived, man. Like, I was screaming my head off, but I was literally looking at the survivability. And on paper, honestly, if that God of Mischief did not come off, then Korova would not have been able to rotate through Eternal Bond because he was still a little far out. But they had the dance off. They had the opportunity to close in that point. And yeah, we lost with the swaps that they were dealing with from the Sentinel sides. Zatex was able to just run amok in the backline. Imagine if we didn't see a Bucky swap off. Even if you weren't hitting those shots, it's splitting the attention from the server admin Elsa.
Cozy, do you think that this might be it? Do you think, yeah, we lost now, that might just have crushed them? Because, you know, they had it. It seemed like the game was in their hands and they let it trickle through their fingers. Or do you think that's just going to be now the perfect fuel they need going into map 4? They get the choice of map. Surely now they're going to try and take us to a best of 5 all the way.
Yeah, I mean, because it's Dom, yeah. So, I mean, either way, they are definitely going to take this to a map they feel confident in. Hell's Heaven is probably my guess. If I were to think where they're going to take it, it's Hell's Heaven. They typically tend to like that map. But, yeah, listen, I mean, hey, it's the America's scene. I don't want to jinx it, all right, but I think we could be going to a match 5 at this point. I've already assumed, like, I've already My stomach has gone into survival mode. Like, I'm just trying at this point to watch some peak rivals, and we're getting that at the very least. Vicky, I mean, listen, the Amazing has just continued to show the clutch gene. Been so fun to watch. And again, you said it, Gaskin. Shout out to Jay at 17 hours. Space at, I think, 50. It's like the watch parties, the fans, we're all just watching cinema.
Absolute cinema. And I think that, you know, we deserve getting these map 5s. We deserve to see these teams going all the way. I do think that Team Liquid Citadel, who are probably studying and staying up to watch these matches, might be saying, actually, perhaps we should do this in the morning and watch the VOD instead so we can actually get some rest. Because remember, these guys who are playing late into the night here, and they're going to have to compete again tomorrow in the lower finals. Because remember, guys, we have lower finals and grand finals going down tomorrow to conclude our preseason playoffs and find out who will be going into stage 1 as the #1 team in Americas. At the moment, it is Swamp Gaming who are waiting in those grand finals. Cozy, Swamp Gaming probably feeling pretty good about themselves after their performance today, and they're probably watching on with what's happening here and saying, actually, the more games that happen, the more tired everyone is. It's even better for them.
Yeah, seriously, able to get the full rest. They don't even have to do the VOD review because they can look live here at the results. And yeah, you know, sometimes, you know what's interesting is the lower bracket gets that warm-up game in because, you know, it's going to be quick into then the grand finals, Vic. Like, we've seen that happen before. Like, they get the reps in.
Yeah,
and technically, Swamp Gaming come off the, you know, the bench.
It can kind of go back and forth too, right? Because the teams that may like really come out actually feel really warmed up. But the fact that we are going onto Hell's Heaven, Cozy, you just mumbled it right now. I mean, Hell's Heaven being the choice here for Yeah We Lost is them feeling right at home.
Yeah, honestly, just Hell's Heaven coming in here, I think that this is going to be a fun one. I love watching this map for many a reason, but I think in particular we've seen Yeah We Lost do some crazy things here, and wouldn't surprise me if we go back and forth into a map 5 to try and define this series between these two teams. That being said, Sentinels, of course, will want to try and get this one done in 4 so they don't have to find themselves in a position where they are just trying their hardest in that final one to stay awake, let alone win it. So they've got to get it done here on Hell's Heaven. Cozy, if you had to pick one player from both teams to watch going into this map, who would it be?
No question. Cart on domination was not it on the first map. Going to be watching Cart and the impact they have and how they protect and ban it on the opposition. Will they have Dongmin get access to the Deadpool? That is not it. The right amazing plan is not it, right? So those are the two. It's the Vanguard shows that got it done in the domination. Lock in, chat. We got another one coming, and I am excited. Who do you think, Vicky, to watch?
I feel like right now, Yusher making the swaps necessary and like sneaking around, we're seeing a little bit more Bucky, has been a big deal because Yusher did a really big pickoff onto Mask, and if Mask is going to be diving in together with Jitward, you have to take that off the table when it comes to allowing your strategists to survive, guys.
Well, don't worry, guys. Someone's got banned in chat for saying I'm attractive, so I'm feeling good going into this one. I hope you guys are as well. Enjoy it. It's map 4. Let's go.
That was my alt account. All right, now we've got our we got our bans. And hey, Daredevil, Jitward, try again. You're not going to be playing the lawyer. We're going to go ahead and get the Yelsa ban on the other side. Is this like? I think this is a Hulk. Is this a Hulk save, or do you try to protect Jitward at all costs? But I feel like okay, all right. Just
yes.
Continuing to give Zatex the Yelsa. Why not? He's been popping off like an absolute king.
I'm honestly surprised that the first ban wasn't the Elsa, but you know what? The next Protect probably would have been the Daredevil, and if that's not something that Sentinels wants to deal with first, they take the Gambit off the table, but then you have to imagine what this next Protect is going to be because they want to lean into their own strength, and Amazing was going crazy off the Daredevil, but they want to prio the Vanpool that you had mentioned, Cozy.
Absolutely. I mean, with that save, it just really allows this team to open up. And it's like if they go with the Hulk ban here right after, it's going to be very interesting on how Yeah We Lost try to decide what to do, especially now being out on what Jitward is comfortable with. Gambit being banned on their side, continuing the same song and dance a bit. Next band up, it's like, do you go Gap? Yeah, Daredevil after what Amazing did. Is the recency bias going to show? Yeah, we lost. Looking to take this to game 5, and it starts massively with this pick. We knew the Hulk was going to get banned there. I said to watch Cart now. He's stuck on the Venom. Things are going to change.
Thank goodness here, too. Like, they knew that Cart was a menace there on the Hulk when they took Cart off the Hulk, they had a lot more success in restabilizing. Again, we even saw Jitward get a lot done with the Spider-Man at one point. That's obviously not going to be a prio, but it's about the follow-ups that could come together with Cart and Jitward, very similarly to what we have seen between Crimzo and Rymazing, and then Dogman in the back harassing them with the Vanpool. You want to keep enabling the Vanguards of Sentinels. The Jeff on Hell's Heaven, we always see too, Cozy, because the environmental KOs will be flowing on a map like this. The Mantis ban next, so you do not want to enable the extra damage output that Sentinels could put down.
Yeah, and what this does too is because Jitward likes to flex on over to the Venom, when Cart has to play Venom at this point, right, it just kind of throws all their flex options off. And I think they know that, and they've studied that from previous bans on other opposition teams. Gonna get the save over. Xantho is hovering the Jeff, but typically Kendrick would play. But Kendrick doing such a good job on the White Fox, right? Unless this is the ban on the Fox. This is probably what... I mean, because Rymazing's just going to play Fox on their side.
Yeah, he could also, like, flex over to the Ultron, right? Because that's something that, yeah, we lost just in prio. But on Hell's Heaven, right, you have a lot more priority that you could take when your forehead's touching, like, a ceiling. But there's also that verticality to play off the platform in that round here in Hell's Heaven. All right, guys, Sentinels are currently sitting at match point. The Jeffs are going to be singing like they're in the orchestra here. We're going to see what these itch Jeffs are going to provide when it comes to the counter picks onto these invisible boundaries that you could expect. Korova is going to be rolling out on that Invisible Woman. The Vanpool is out here too for Dogman, but the same cannot be said about Yaoi Lost. I'm also wondering, like, will we be able to see Mask? Although we do see him having that priority on the Mantis, you want that damage boost, but, you know, Mask has had a lot of success on the Thor.
No, that's a great point here, Vic. As the door's about to open up, and again, we kind of expected this. I will say from Yaoi Lost side, what an I mean, have you seen the Jitward Fox much, Vic?
No. I was gonna say, like, look, if only we could have, like, the black cat, you know what I mean? But obviously we can't play on that next fact, but no.
That was the energy on the interview against Yaoi Lost. No. Yeah. Anything you feared? No. Yeah, I think, like I said, though, it definitely makes some of the composition a bit weird with the flexibility they have. But you know what? I've been wanting to see the Deadpool played more from Jitward, especially within Domination. Oftentimes never plays it here. But man, Domination just, you know, already helps Deadpool in the way that the level up goes with the XP. Portal opening up. It's Kendrick on Strange. I love Kendrick on Strange. A lot of fun plays to be made. But here we go. Crimzo leading the Avengers, that is Sentinels, into this battle. 13 seconds and counting.
Kendrick said, "Release me from my shackles," coming out with the Doctor Strange portal plays themselves. And I love how they were trying to get ready with Jitward now coming out, the duelist pool having some words to say. Sentinels now just taking their time before getting onto this point. It's finally active. Yeah, we lost. Are going to be able to get it for free. No contention. And Sentinels are just going to allow them to walk over there. Zatex, the fact that Zatex gets away with having Elsa again after the impact and damage output that we saw from that last map is insane.
My gosh, just absolutely free real estate, giving them the zone that oftentimes takes so long, jumping off to find freedom themselves, back to the spawn, not the stagger. And at this point, what an absolute start to this. It'd be very tough. You know what? I keep saying it'd be very tough for them to lose at different points, but Vic, Sentinels keep finding the answer to the test every single time.
Looking at what, yeah, no way. No way, Zatex. Dogman's got a family. Crimzo clapping back though onto Matt. That's going to be big too because you're just going to delay the inevitable. I mean, is this going to be enough sustain here for Yaoi Lost to lean into with just the Jeff and the Mantis? It's going to be tough, but Kendrick's still holding the front line. Someone's got to look behind him. Sentinels was trying to go for a cheeky back cap, and Jitward diverting his attention to the point.
Yeah, look out for what is going to always be a huge Agamotto there from Kendrick. 56% and up. They have to do a lot to peel out Cart and friends from this point. Flamay finds one, but the two come, and there is an absolute big double pick on the strategist. Both good night, and that's going to give everybody else room to breathe, even though they did get a pick. No healing. It's going to keep this team down. Amazing's out, and Crimzo running for their lives.
Oh, no way. And the communication, too. Look who was ready. It was Card. Even without all the kills that he needed to rely on, he was ready with Zatex, sending him out like a Pokemon. And now, yeah, we lost. Have these 3 ultimates. The fact that this strat backline is working is insane to me.
Do you hear that, Vic? It is match 5 echoing. You can hear it right now because, yeah, we lost. Will not go down without a fight as they're looking strong on point 1. Venom going to go ahead and slam the mouth as Crimzo finds nothing. Jitward, the Deadpool, who has been rocking since the preseason, finds Yusha. The big pick, the damage is gone. The picture is taken. And just like that, slicing, dicing, the sushi has been made. Freshed up, served, ready, hot.
Dude, the iframes off the selfie, too, to avoid getting eaten by the It's Chef, and then Zatex is just going in with a highlight reel. The sustain may not even matter, because yeah, we lost are just out-damaging Sentinels. Where is the foundation for Sentinels right now?
Yeah, it started from the get, right? I mean, just free point here, you can have it, and they never let go from there. Yeah, they definitely... It's crazy, too, because I feel like if you look at kind of what they were able to play from there and what they have available from the pick and ban, it really leaned towards what Sentinels had. But Vic, here we go. Right, amazing. On the Ultron. Zatex, though, going to go hunting for sure. We'll see what adjustments they make, but there's a lot.
The time stream is in grave danger.
The fact, too, that, like, yeah, we lost, still have these 3 ultimates, and with Zatex and dealing the amount of damage Zatex has been doing... You're going to have the Glartrox for this next fight, and you have no sustain. Kurova would be like the closest one to the Eternal Bond for this first fight, but if anything, if I'm Sentinels here, it's all about the poke pressure that you could put down, try to enable Yusher, and just try to see if you could bait out some of these ultimates, because it's going to be tough, because even with the Feast of the Abyss from Cart, that's going to be the anti-heals, unless Crimzo could go in for a crazy play off these walls.
Yeah, listen, guys, there's so many great Jeffs in this entire tournament, but Xantho plays an absolutely crazy shark. Look out for this. It's Jeff. Gonna be a big one at that. Portal opens. Opportunity ready. McKendrick up on the top. Now Sentinel's gonna have to force to adjust and play their game. Looking forward and up. They're going to pick their exact moment to jump in. And there's the Soul Resurgence. And they're going to take full advantage. Mass pushing in heavy. Look at all the cues ready to go. It's dinner time. Love. And they're coming up absolutely full.
The quad? Kendrick! He is feasting now, and we called it out, Cozy. Yeah, we lost. Get the point first. And what I like even more is that they barely had to expend much. It wasn't expensive at all. They only used up these 2 ultimates to cycle through.
All right. Yeah, that's a good point. What they had to use to get that, not a lot. Just feels like complete free real estate yet again. Hope they make the cut, though. Goes Jitward going in, diving. Going to go and try to get every reset. The pressure is maximum. He's 1v6ing Vic. He doesn't care. What is this camera? The colors, the angles. God help the viewers.
I think I just got car sick right now. Yeah. He is going... He's playing a different game. That didn't look like Marvel Rivals. It's just the Jitward game instead. But Raimezi and Yusher, despite getting their heads bounced on, come out alive. And now it's up to Zatex to back away because the number advantage is in favor for Sentinels to reclaim this point.
Yeah, 42% though is a nice little cozy opening, especially when you can line up the ults to follow. Kendrick ready for the eye. The Vanguard's ready. The players I wanted to watch. Cart, Dongman, Crimzo. The Vanguard's got it done in Dom the first time. Quick little spray in the Pierce. Xantho and friends going to go ahead and rotate over as the map changes. Hell's Heaven. Map pick 4. Yeah, we lost. To get this thing to match 5. The full combo wobble comes out. Dogman barely escaping. Forced to ult the Banhammer to stop the madness.
And getting rid of those walls here too. Zatex with a damage boost. The Groot hard to meet them. Crimzo sets up the wall behind them. And Yusher pops off, finding 2 while they're at it. And Jitward trying to back away. Sure, the survivability may not be there, but you have to worry about the sustain in general too. When Xanthos gets the It's Chef, who's going to be a victim here. And he's going to come up on it very shortly. But I'm really looking at Raimazing and Flamme. They have to get something going when it comes to rotating through these ultimates.
Yeah, the Eye of Agamotto was close there, completely shut. Kendrick didn't get anything off of it and then fell right after. So tough look, and just like that, Sentinels snapped their fingers and Thanos snapped the point right back to them. Cart with the feast. We've seen Zatex though try to use, oh my gosh, absolutely disgusting neutral. Quick finish on the Monster Piercer. Dongman, though, does try to get Kendrick out, but watch out for Zatex trying to find their opportune moment. Here comes the Glartrox and finds at least the one. How is Dogman in there even after the iframe?
He finished it right at the very end, too. And then now you have the group hug here as Mass is going to be able to move together with the Soul Resurgence. Now you get the dual pull ultimate, the reset coming in from Yusher to knock off the head of Xanthos, making hot sushi out of the shark. Crimzo collapse back here, gets the back and forth after Flamay finds himself back in the spawn room gates, but the number advantage retains as Sentinels with more bodies on the point are nearing 99%.
Has this not just been the story of the matchup between them two, Vic? It's like it's looking so one way, and then Sentinels real time find an answer in a way. The group walls close it down, and we find ourselves stretching this thing to the limit. Yeah, we lost face elimination in the playoff run. Let me remind you, coming from the MRC, introduced as the Rooks, going against the Vets late at night here in the America scene, folks. Can you ask for anything else?
Are you
besides
not?
sleep, Vic? I know, besides sleep.
Listen, you know what? I guess it kind of coincides with my current schedule. I'm not trying to expose myself, but you could always find me in ladder around this time around. But you know what? That's, well, when work isn't on the table. But if anything, yeah, we lost, have to get to work because they're going to have to figure out what they need to change up here. Again, I don't think it was enough sustain. Jitward was playing a whole different game, giving all of the viewers whiplash here, jumping on heads, and then looks back and the rest of his team is gone. I think the way that Sentinels have adjusted was beautiful. And even if Flamay does want to roll out on this, you get a little bit of that damage boost on their own, basically like a discount Mantis, if you could say, when they don't have a Mantis or a Gambit to add.
Yeah, 2 notes on that. First, I've definitely seen you on at 3 a.m., and I think it was last night. Secondly, I don't know how Jitward did not, die in that madness, and it's just so hard to hit Deadpool when he's bounced on the heads, continuously throwing down the damage too. But Jitward immediately delits. Hope he makes the cut. He finds the slice. Flamay, goodbye. That was such a fast hit, and the aggressive nature continues for Yeah, we lost.
Again, letting Mantis and Elsa go through is a choice. But that's what happens. It's about a lot of that damage impact, and they did use up that portal just so that way they could have the positioning advantage. Kendrick taking a huge chunk of that damage on purpose, too, just so that way they could try to enable Xanthos to get that invisible boundary together with Zaytex rotating in. Jitward still harassing them while Ryan Mazing has something else to say. The kitty's got claws as Ryan Mazing takes the 1v1 versus Mask.
All right, now Dogman going with a quick ult. And go ahead and put the survivability on his back instead of the band hammer. Going to get slept from downtown, though. Zaytex hitting that from across the map. Again, noted Zaytex with that Mantis. Trying up a different look here. Sentinels take this point back with only 22%. The disrespect hit. Wow. Oh my gosh, Amazing almost fell to the 7th member of Yeah, we lost a wall slide. Able to stay alive through it, Vic. Anything can happen here late at night. But if you look at what they've got ult-wise, definitely Sentinels are set up for some success here.
They don't know. They don't know who's behind that wall right now. The push-off for Crimzo yeets out the nade. He's got the Groot hug. Will they be able to have anything to counter, though? Flamay is very close to the God of Mischief here. Crimzo together could follow up. Cart has a piece of the Abyss. Yusher, though, gets the reset. Diving down here is going to be a lot of damage up on the Agamotto's is fine. It goes huge. It finds 2. It stalls out right Amazing. And the Kumiho unleash. Then Flamay saves the day with the Eternal Bond, paving the floor here, purple.
Yeah, gets the Ninetales out of the fight immediately, but with that second life, able to stay in it, so no value from it. Yusher then pays the price, or throws the price over to Zaytex going down. Jitward, though, trades, gets Yusher out of here, and here comes the damage. Katana's at max. Golden Katana's keeping them in this playoff, Vic. Slice dice Kendrick out. Oh no, Sentinels doing it again. They're handling the chaos that Yeah, we lost brings match after match, Vic. Does this not go full circle?
This is how it goes. This is a set no way. Right Amazing. You could take all of his flexibility away. It's fine. He'll still make it work no matter what. And again, being on this white blocks has had so much impact in trying to enable the triple strat that Sentinels feel so much at home with. But they use up a lot here too, Cozy. You look on the other side. It's going to be straight neutral play until Kendrick pulls up with the Eye of Agamotto.
The definition of calm, cool, and collected amongst the chaos. Jitward, though, here he goes. LFG slams it. Banhammer on an aggressive activated Kendrick with another eye ready to pop. Yusher, though, quick with those Phoenix hits. The ignite and the explosion. Kendrick with the eye inside. Gonna get right Amazing. Once again, though, in the Ninetales form. Out again with the pop. Down goes both the strats. Only Right Amazing remains. Recap, 24%, 99 to 24, Vic. Coming down to the wire.
He keeps sealing this Jinchuriki back in the spawn room gates, and Satex getting that finishing blow. It was a matter of time, but at 99% in favor for Sentinels, they have Flume, the god of mischief. Yusher has a reset opportunity. Crimzo calling out a pesky fly before they try to pull Crimzo in, just trying to isolate the heals onto Kendrick, who wants to dive back down again. And yeah, we lost all these ultimates to work off of.
Oh, okay. Xantho throwing up the shield there with Flume going towards them. Good rotation, though, from We Lost. And stay alive through it. They're hunting. You can feel it. Zatex with the damage up on himself. Putting the tape on his back. Hits a headshot. Are you kidding me? Absolute perfection there. Xantho finds another. It's the Strats getting it done by themselves.
They don't need any help necessary right now. They're forcing Sentinels back into the side room gates, and they are making more of this stagger happen. It's just Crimzo, unfortunately, just looking for a reset. Let me out of jail, please.
No.
I'm taking my walk of shame, but Mask has other words. That's a huge delay.
I mean, you can't make it up. When their backs are against the wall, they have all the support they need to come out swinging, folks. Will We Lost get eliminated or bounce back to stretch this to the limits in match 5? Piece of the Abyss. Hungry Cart is no available Hulk. Jumps in. They find 3 immediately.
No
97,
way.
98, 99. Time ticking down. Back to the point. Here comes the portal. The counter portal from Kendrick. He's looking for it. What are you waving at, Dogman? Just trying to stall. Do their best. Flume on the strange. Vicky, here comes the portal. He's just waiting at this point. Dogman staying alive. Jumping on the heads. Are you kidding me? How is he alive? Match 5 is here. We're going all night, folks.
He canceled the portal? Oh my goodness. Dogman did everything he can, but this is even better for the chapter of We Lost. Let's get this going. We were expecting it. Game number 5 here as Jitward is your MVP.
I'm just blown away. I tell you what, I knew it. I read the script. Match 5, we're here. Listen, whether it's late night, early morning, Rivals, playoffs, American scene delivers. None of these teams are willing to go home lightly, Vicky. And you got to say, even on our end, yeah, it's late, but it's late for them too. And just being able to be locked in, to have the passion, to keep that through all the adversity. Jitward with the MVP. How perfect. Y'all, it's match 5. Don't go anywhere. Don't fall asleep now. We're going to take a quick break and be back.
Guys, I have to apologize for absolutely nothing because we've got a map 5 on our way again. We wouldn't have had it any other way, would we? It has been a day full of map 5s here at Marvel Rivals Ignite preseason playoffs, but that means we have to conclude this series eventually, guys. I mean, we thought it was going to happen with the back and forths, with We Lost getting to pick the map, but at one point, Sen had control again, and there's just a turnaround, gets flip-flopped on its backside. Vicky, do you think that now going into map 5, anyone has an advantage? Is this just a case of who has the minerals in this situation?
This is the most rock, paper, scissors series like I have ever seen, guys. It is the seesaw back and forth. I mean, okay, you said it before, Gaskin, and it's kind of like, okay, Team Liquid are probably in the back, like, we're just going to watch this tomorrow, we'll figure things out, or they may not have to, because after we talked to Energy, he's already feeling pretty confident after looking at the competition that they have ahead of them. So if anything, this could be really good practice for We Lost and Sentinels, because no matter what, it's going to be a difficult challenge to rise up from the ashes. But guys, the fact that we've had basically 3 back-to-back Game 5s in Americas highlights what kind of region this is.
Well, I mean, and you heard him in the interview as well, saying that Fox believes that Americas is the best region at the moment, and we'll have to wait to see that get proved once we get to international competition as well. But one thing we know is This match kind of feels like the best of the rest for me, because we've seen how evidently far ahead the first two teams are, right? You've got Swamp Gaming, you've got Team Liquid Citadel. They are at the very tippy top. Everyone else is trying to catch them up at the moment, and what a fantastic chance you put yourself in if you can win this matchup, get to lower bracket finals, and then get that match against Team Liquid Citadel, A, to get more reps, and also to prove that you are maybe closer than some may think. Cozy, do you have a favorite? Can you give me anything in terms of a prediction, because this is very impossible. Most people have probably lost all their channel points by this point in the Twitch chat.
Prediction. Oh man, I checked on my soup dumplings that got delivered. They fossilized over. It's done. Those are cooked. Yeah, predictions. So on the matches, I'm gonna say, honestly, I'm going to give it to Sentinels. And it's funny because, yeah, we lost as a team I've been going with over and over, and they've come back and bounced back. The only reason I'm giving it to Sentinels is if you've looked at their journey in the lower bracket, it has been literally best of 5 NRG, I believe. I don't remember. It was so long ago. But it was 3 best of 5s to get to this point. And they kept on winning at the last moment. Will in a way. They always found the way. And I just think they do here again.
Where there's a will, where there's a way, where there's a Vicky, there's a cast going into the late hours of the day as well, Vicky. Everyone, by the way, appreciates the hard work that both of you are putting in. I'm just going to say that outright, whether it is all the viewers or the watch partiers, so we do appreciate you guys going into the late hours. But someone has to win this whole darn thing, and I'm sure the players at the moment are feeling it, and it's about who can just lock in at this point. Because as you said, these guys, they're gamers. You know, they've been in this situation before where you're up in the late hours of the night, you get your coffee, get your Red Bull, get whatever energy drink you want. You're just going to make sure, because this is a big moment. It's not about just playing for top 3 and getting a match against Liquid. There is a lot of prize money on the line as well for these guys. I mean, and just preseason. That's what's crazy about Marvel Rivals Unite preseason, is the amount of prize money that's available for them before we even get into stage 1. And I do think that it's important to go into stage 1 with a lot behind you, with momentum as well. So it's going to be very important to get into that lower bracket final. We are going to end things, though, at Midtown. One of my favorite maps to watch, has to be said. Cozy, do you think that Midtown leans toward either team?
Yeah, funny enough, you know, Sentinels used to bring it a lot here, too. They love Midtown, the way it plays. They have great strategies cooked up for it. You know, looking over on what each team has done going into the group stage and bringing it to it. Sentinels try to bring it to Midtown to clutch up a win against NRG. Ended up losing there. It is kind of their map that they go to. But listen, we also seen, yeah, we lost Cook extremely fast on Midtown because it really complements their playstyle, Vicky.
Yeah, I agree, because I feel like, if anything, too, like the other time that we saw, I believe, Sentinels go to Midtown was versus Swamp Gaming, but like we also know what kind of team Swamp Gaming is, so that was pretty tough. But you could tell with Sentinels already noting that this is a map that they feel comfortable with the triple strategist composition that we could usually expect. You still have that verticality that I keep mentioning, and the reason why I say this is because Rymazing is amazing with flyers. The Ultron has been targeted. The White Fox obviously has its benefits, but I do think with more verticality, Rymazing will be able to take to the skies and also like break through the chokehold if you could expect a triple Vanguard hold.
Now, Cozy, we talk a lot about teams having certain preferences against who they're going to play and what playstyle they're going to play up against as well. Just to look ahead a little bit, before we get into the locks and bans, who do you think would have the best chance against Team Liquid Citadel out of these two teams? I'll allow you to discuss that as we go into the locks and bans. Guys, it's map 5. It has to end here. It's Yeah We Lost versus Sen.
Well, Vicky, who stands the best chance? You know, I think it's not the most fair question after last night, but I don't know. I'll be honest, guys. I do think it's rivals, and any team can have its day. I'll be there. I'm going to be honest. I know TLC's been crazy, but like, get there. Just be there in the losers finals, say lower finals, and you get a chance to punch the ticket. That's all that matters. Don't look at the names. We've heard that from TLC. They're not going to either.
No, I feel like this is like the definition of like rivals till the end of time, like truly, like literally going the distance, right? And we have to protect on the Gambit, by the way. This is the first time that we get to see Sentinels lean into the Gambit. The Daredevil ban 2. I like this option considering Daredevil not only getting that information, but having the wall climb, being able to get these resets, get out of the line of sight of the opposition so that way they can get heals from Yeah We Lost. But going forward here, Cozy, this is it. everything on the table. I like how Gaskin, hyping this up. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. But I also have to give my props to these players because we've all been there. When we get our grind going, sometimes it can take a detriment onto your mental health and you could feel that your brain leaking through your ears. But this is two teams that are literally going back and forth with, yeah, we lost, getting a gambit of their own.
Alrighty now, with the ban coming, yeah, I mean, you've seen such a response in ways of plans coming. It's funny that the Rogue going to be that pick for them, allow the Gambits through, and that is just going to open up the chaotic floodgates that is already here in the match 5, right? Dracula had his way in New York, so you might as well let Gambit do the same with the Raging Royal. With the ban there up first, I just love it too, because they kind of get the head start. You got to get the Loki out as well. Not everything can get banned, right? Look at them try to adjust quickly to the madness that follows. So one team probably going to get the Rogue and or Loki. Do you save Rogue here, right? Like you ban Rogue, take Rogue?
I
or
feel
go
like
Hulk?
Yeah, Cart's going to want to... Cart is probably have the flexibility on the Hulk, but they're hovering over the Protect on the Rogue themselves, and that is going to be the option. I do like this, Cozy. You highlighted it perfectly, and yeah, we lost also taking some notes too, because we've seen the flexibility from Sentinels. They have been able to rely on that together with the Gambit, but hey, you only have so many pick and bans. Let's say if for whatever reason we roll out with like a Magneto, you still have that team up together with the Gambit and some of that extra damage boost here too. They're hovering over the Hulk, and since they did rely on that Protect, that final Protect on the Rogue, they get that out of there. Cart will no longer be enabled, and when we saw Cart on the Hulk before, we never got to see Cart on Hulk again for like the last 3 games.
Yeah, I just think it's such a bold plan coming in here, mixing it up and kind of laying all your cards on the line, quite literally. And I love it from, yeah, we lost. We haven't even seen them play all that much Rogue. And I think if Cart would have made its way through there with the Hulk, it would have been really dangerous for them. Because it's going to be most likely Mask on that, Cart on the Venom. But let's see your last band. Oh, I love the Thing band here as well. So you're going to have Daredevil out of play. Amazing. How many times have we seen Vic Amazing with games on the line go into hero mode quite literally, and they've got the Daredevil for him?
It's been so many times, and I feel like, if anything, this is what you want to enable. Like, I'm just so happy that they banned out the Elsa, because obviously, like, the Elsa was just getting too much. But we also saw Zatex pop off on the Psylocke, and with no thing on the table... Okay, I'll be honest here, Cozy. Like, Crimzo Thing hasn't really shown up for me, but it goes big when you have to enable your dive. And when you're dealing with a Venom and Zatex popping off on the Psylocke, it helps out because what are you going to do? Go Emma, and then we've seen what happens, even at the hands of, like, TTK, who pops off before on the Emma trying to deal with dive. And we've all seen what happens there, right? As 100 Thieves, bowing out from that. But then you get to kind of feel more enabled. And with Crimzo being on the group, that's kind of like the next best thing here, and just trying to put down those walls to isolate the heals and try to trap some of these diving characters.
Yeah, I think Akura was plenty comfortable on that Gambit. And, I mean, just talk about the way that Mask plays as a player as well. I mean, I'm excited to see what they can do with that team up and all that dive potential. They're going all in, pushing the chips in on maximum dive, maximum effort, folks. This is your last match, unless there's a draw, God help us all. But either way, pushing through New York, it is Sentinels on the offense.
Also interesting, like, how they wanted to prioritize that ban on the Cloak and Dagger, because you have double Raging Royal Flush now. Like, we'll absolutely take those on the win condition. It's about playing to their strengths here. Sentinels now already creating that space. Amazing. Marking the enemy, though, and with Jitward trying to rely on the safety of the health pack, he gets healed back up. Amazing. Needing some help in trying to get this dive going. Crimzo just trying to set up these walls together. They get the isolation, though. This is what I wanted to see. You overextend. Sure, it's a trade-off, though, but Yusher's back is right alongside the spawn room gates.
Yeah, and that's going to give them on the offense much more room to push. But what they do so well, they did it on Wakanda as well, Vic, is they can just stay on this point and be pesky and play so untraditional there. Zatex with the quick hit of the shotgun, building up that ult as well. Gonna be Xantho first with the Raging Royal. If they're ult tracking right. Deleted is Amazing. They should be able to push in this, but now they gotta look to reset.
Oh, God. Okay, this is what I like to see. Flamey is also very close to the God of Mischief, Crimzo, with the Groot hug, but they are staggering out. Yeah, we lost Santho. We'll have the Raging Royal Flush, but Flamey, in the copy of Korova, will be able to match out with one of his own.
Yeah, so you're right. They're going to be able to match right now. Flamey going to hit it. There comes the Raging on both sides. Can they survive through it? And there it is. Groot ult coming out from Crimzo. No connection there as they're staying alive. Jitward ready to go as Usher finds Kendrick in the back.
Nice.
There goes all that sustain and support. What are you waving at? Wow, Cart and Xantho, though, get Korova. They get the double gambit.
No way! The back-to-back. Zatex now using the dance of the Cutterfly. Right? Amazing. Just the fact that they were trying to cycle through this. I mean, Flamey was trying to get it done here with the Raging Royal Flush, but yeah, we lost with the isolation picks on the back line. Goes even crazier.
So crazy. I mean, they hit 21 jackpot easily there as now Zatex being pushed off in that front line. Here comes the Raging Royal. That's the best part about it. The Loki, close to try to get rid of that Gambit, but not going to find it now. Dancing in the top is the Ninetales. Right, amazing though. Gets the best from it. Finds one. Now two. Continuing on. Can he get three as the Fox slams down, trying to get the best of this Devil, but cannot get him out as Usher trades Jitward out of here, and it looks like they'll be able to at least, oh my, Mask, push forward.
I'm talking about the Ninetales. That ain't Himawari when you have no backup here. Mask has the Heartbreaker, but left alone is not where you want to be. Maybe to make some plays, and now, at least with the portal, they're splitting their attention. Looking right behind them where Mask is. The Heartbreaker will be activated. Jitward, by the way. Oh, okay, he teased us. It looked like he was swapping over to the Magic. He swaps over to the Dual Pool. Van Hammer activated here too, rather. As a Dual Pool ultimate unleashes, Usher also forced to make the swap. Sentinels, after having the advantage, in my opinion, on the pick and ban phase, are falling apart, not even getting to that first checkpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot believe this hold right now from the likes of Yeah, we lost, who now Usher finding best from Kendrick. Going to continue to farm out that White Fox. Cart trying to survive through it, does just that. Jitward LFG into the Raging Royal as well as the Mascot. They push forward full. Xantho finds one. Continuing on this pressure, 30 seconds. If you're just Sentinels here, survive this, hold your Qs. Don't be forcing pressure. That's what they're trying to do here, Vic. Hold steady and strong as Sentinels has continued to do. Now favor on their side. They've got Flamey. Push forward, Korova to follow, but Mask finds one. Shields up, able to pop it in time. Here comes the dance of the butterfly shortly. User looking for their opportunity. Eye of Agamotto opens up, gets two. Are you kidding me?
The invisible boundary goes down, though, but they keep Amazing and Dogman alive for now. But Dogman taking a lot of pressure. Overtime activated. Korova has a Raging Royal Flush. Has to get ready, set, go. That's two outs from Yeah, we lost. And while, unfortunately for Jitward, he can't get anything done with that ultimate, Sentinels, in the nick of time, clear off this point and get that first checkpoint.
I mean, I would say I'm surprised, Vic, but we continue to see this, right? They just continue to find a will in a way that would have been one of the best defensive stops we've seen from Yeah, we lost, who pulled out all the cards, put out some pocket aces too with the Rogue Protect. But right now, Sentinel staying strong. 2 minutes, 9 seconds, not a lot of time. Look at the double dive, the coordinated. And Kendrick has not been able to see a lick of New York. Oh my, perfection of the comms. And it only took the two duels.
They took him to the Bronx and they took his shoes while they were at it. Crimson and Amazing. Finding more back-to-back. I was going to say, Cozy, like, this is something that, Yeah, we lost, I guess, had noted, because I guess they weren't afraid of the Loki into the Gambit ultimate, because then they really weren't able to kind of cycle that properly. This forces Flamey to go to the Invisible Woman, and now they've had so much more success. Who's going to get jumped next? Oh! It looks like the next victim comes in. I saw the ante. Xantho managing to stay alive. That would have been a crucial pick to delay the Raging Royal Flush.
Yeah, just the way that they're able to push in where the map is right now, even with only 2 minutes to begin with, they're able to continue to surprise their opponents and have their advantage. And Mason does just that, erases Xantho out of here. Trades the strats, though. This is going to be a big point of survival. 6-0 down. Zatex, good pick there on the finish and the flush. Yusha going to trade. It's the Psylocke show. All the yokais going down, but the X-Men now pushing forward. Jitward finds more good separation between the team and their... Wow. How?
It's always going back and forth with these teams. This is insane. Jitward still fights Usher after he was able to isolate the other side of the hallway with a bubble. It's so messy. It's literally, there's spaghetti all over the floor. It's a mess.
Yeah, it's just been the trade show here As now looking at what they have, look at Sentinels ult lines coming up, but the Raging Royal, if you're keeping track, there it is, perfect, go ahead, go full max right now, push it forward, leave no survivors as Flamme throws up the defensive line. And Crimzo finds it through. The Rogue threw it all. Here comes Zatex with the dance execution. Xantho trades. Zatex finds the other.
And being able to find these two, though, still set up the number advantage because they got rid of the Gambit and the Raging Royal flush. Meanwhile, Flamme is about to get staggered. That's going to be big. And with 5 seconds on the clock, nobody going over to the... Oh, actually, right, Amazing did go over to the Doctor Strange. Can the portal come out on time? Oh, big two pickoffs here. Usher somehow is still alive. He gets a health pack, just barely, literally a pixel of health. Portal for portal here. And while they're taking everything, Suga, can she still feel Kurova here? And Xantho doesn't have the Raging Royal flush. The sustain was slightly there. They did lose out on their Vanpool. Right, Amazing is stuck on this Doctor Strange after utilizing the portal, and Jitward clears out the point.
One team, MRC, now to Pro. The other 3-2s through the lowers. Which one will hold on in this overtime? It is, we lost. Locking in the gamer hours as we head into Sunday morning here. The same day that they'll be playing, Vicky, for the grand finals. Are you kidding me? But I will say Sentinels made the most of that 2 minutes. But man, so close.
I just like the script that they have. Like, the fact that they forced Sentinels off the Loki Gambit. Like, I'll be honest with you, Cozy. This is another highlight for everybody watching right now. When you see these teams go for the Ditto matchup, Gambit v Gambit or Elsa v Elsa, it really does trickle down to who could utilize this comp better, who survives longer, who gets more done with these ultimates. And you have a Loki available, and you can't take advantage of that when it looks super rough at the very beginning there. Rotating through these Raging Royal flushes, usually, as we call it, is the win button, but that wasn't the case for Sentinels. Meanwhile, we lost rocking the White Fox, which, by the way, Kendrick didn't get to play for like 3 fights, but even then, Jitward was just playing a whole different game. But Xantho did stay alive a lot. Obviously, Gambit having a much easier time when Kendrick was forced to use these teleports already with that cooldown, but it's enough for Xantho to hold it down for the rest of we lost, and Jitward to just go crazy.
Zatex is so wild, too. And just absolutely such a crazy duelist, time and time again. The doors open, folks, and we will find out our finish here in the lower semis. Sentinels locking in defensively. Going to be Crimzo and Dogman, the vanguards that got them to this point so far. Rogue going in on the pressure immediately. Going to find a quick fate, but does get out of there. Cart finds Yusha, though, immediately. The picks are coming. We lost. Are going to be able to get plenty of this space, and it's Mask. The protection, the pocket aces they had in the surprise of the pick ban phase that enabled the push.
No, Thor, not necessary. And Flamme is looking at Mask with fear. Not going to want to have the fight with the wife in this setting right now when your tournament lives are on the line. This also means, of course, we will not be going over to a draw. It will be ending here. Depends if Sentinels could hold off. We lost, but I like the way that they're playing this right now with Cart just diving in here on the Venom. Crimzo also just trying to get some follow-ups. The Zatex on this Psylocke has just been a force to reckon with.
Just such an aggressive team, and naturally on the offense, they're looking to get those quick picks on the back line, looking for more Zatex, who's just continue to hit these perfect shots back after back. Does find the Crimzo at low. Going to rotate back with a quick dash. And here comes Jitward now once again with the Jitward is Deadpool himself. It's a ranked game hours. The only thing he won't be able to do tonight is play, unless I guess he's not prepping for the grand finals. But they get that first point, 5 minutes on the clock, 3 more than Sentinels, Vic.
And they're looking at speed run right now, Cozy. They have 4 minutes and less than 55 seconds on the clock. That's a whole lot of time to force out more of these ultimates to rotate through another set of their own. Dogman now holding the fort, trying to get onto the high ground, find the isolation, but they have to find the isolation on Xanthos as a priority. He's got the Rage of Royal Flush and the survivability together with Kendrick.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Right now, it is just, we lost. Looking for the win to continue on this dream. They cannot be stopped. They don't have much more to go. Jitward farming now other Deadpools in this multiversal clash. Vicky, look at what they have available. The entire Infinity War, the entire Marvel roster coming at Sentinels to hold the line with 4 minutes left. This is looking grim.
They got the whole bank. In this economy, we'll take it here. And they have every answer, too. Flamme at least has a Rage Royal Flush, but look at the way that they're trying to overextend here. They're trying to buy even more time and space. And Sentinels, with really Flamme, has a Rage Royal Flush, but he activates it. Can they find the isolation? They're just trying to jump over on top of his head. Flamme gets a clapback, finds Zatex. Usher is enabled. He jumps up to the high ground together with a Rage Royal Flush, and he clears off the choke that Yaoi Lost was holding. But Yaoi Lost literally just stared at them and didn't expend anything.
Didn't expend anything, but I think Sentinels hung on to a good amount. But yeah, I mean, with Xantho, one Raging Royal, like Kurova could throw up that boundary all you want to, but not going to be able to protect you from what we've seen so far. Because all they've got to do is combine 2 of these here. Cart with the lead on it. We'll see if Cart even dies. See how Kurova's invisible? Because he knows that if he is exposed at any bit, it's going to be Cart on him to force the cooldowns. It is now quickly Dogman, though, with a pick on the mask that opens up everything for them. Damage in. Zatex, Xantho find 2. The X's getting the O's. And just like that, Jitward slashes, dashes, time ticking. Strange swap not available. This is it. Sentinels gotta lock in, but good sustain and push and finish. Look at once again, it's Dogman keeping the point still.
He can't do more. Ayúdame! Ayúdame! The devil for Deadpool. The fact that he's still up is actually insane. Triple strat now rolling up for Sentinels. The Freedom Charge. Huge anti, by the way, onto 4. That causes the demise onto Rymazing. He will not have the sustainability with the Camille Unleash.
It's gonna be a 3 wipe here as time is ticking. Dogman can only stall so long. Down falls the vets. The rookies here in the pro scene push it through. Claim map number 5 and find their rematch with Liquid Citadel. Yeah, we lost. The name means nothing. They won. They will move on.
The fact that we lost saw that first game from Sentinels after Sentinels took it over and reversed the situation into game 4 and 5. I mean, if anything, Cozy, something to highlight from a team that came out of the MRC. Yes, a lot of these players have had comp experience of their own. They grind ladder crazily. They may not have all the scrim bugs in their pocket because they've said it themselves. Teams refuse to scrim them. But this is a team that we cannot ignore that has just gotten better and better as the tournament has progressed.
And they just have more new ways to beat you. I mean, just pulling out the rogue save to start and kick off the thing. I mean, just such a cool way to throw it all out on the table. And man, this is just the preseason. I feel like they keep getting better and better. Now, we know what happened yesterday with TLC, but listen, what a way to finish and to stop what has been the plot armor for Sentinels, fighting through the 3 and 2s, put the full stop on them. Gaskin, thoughts?
I mean, unbelievable. The ranked grinders, the MRC players, they come through and they managed to get the job done over Sen. Unbelievable for them, really, and I'm sure it's going to be an incredible moment as they push themselves into guaranteed top 3, and of course, still a shot at progressing in the tournament with a rematch against TLC, as you mentioned, and I'm sure they'll come into that one a little differently, with a slightly different approach as well, especially now they've seen that Liquid Citadel can bleed after their loss today. But boy, guys, I mean, what an incredible best of 5 that we had. Really nail-biting at times for some of these players. And, of course, very back and forth. Difficult to know which way it was going to go, but certainly an entertaining one. I mean, I think that no one would have predicted it was going to go all the way like that. I think everyone was assuming that it was going to be one or the other. Either Sentinels were going to kind of stomp them, or yeah, we lost, we're going to just pull something out and do it on the other way. But the fact we get 5 is absolutely fantastic. But that, of course, means that we conclude today's matches, guys. I mean, Vicky, in that match in particular, do you think that there was a standout player if you had to choose? If you had to choose one from either team, couldn't be from either, it doesn't have to be the winning team, who would you go for?
I actually think we have to give, I know we talked about Jitward a lot, but we have to get, I mean, there's 3 players. I just need to highlight them. Cart, Zatex, and Jitward. Like, these 3 players were crazy. Mask being on the road, like, there's so much to break down here. If I was Sentinels, honestly, I would have looked at that Team Liquid Citadel matchup, and I would have copied their homework in the pick and ban phase, because even in the interview, they said that they made them incredibly uncomfortable, but that kind of wasn't what we saw at all, which is why we see the results that we currently have right now, and yeah, we lost, thriving off of it, and yeah, we lost. If I see another Scarlet, attempt, standing at the spawn room gate,
Yo, I was just about to call
Thor.
that out.
There's no way.
Vic, that's why we were saying yesterday it's so damn important to lock in those moments, because you're back against them, right? It's like you could add another match. And so, like, we are passionate, especially, again, as a person who picked this team, it's like that is why every map matters, and you fight like hell to get to where you are, and they're here now. The person I want to shout out, Gaskin, is Xantho. Xantho, from the beat one of the playoffs, has been an amazing strategist that has not gotten enough highlight, has had clutch plays, amazing moments. The whole team is fun to watch. But Xantho, as someone who stood out for me in the playoffs, insanity. Jitward, we already know. And I can't wait to see the graphs, by the way, the statistics on all of this. Once again, Gaskin.
Yeah, throw me the numbers. You know, I'll gobble those up. I love those numbers. I did ask you guys going into that one, who do you think has the best chance against Team Liquid Citadel? We know now it is going to be, yeah, we lost. How do you feel like their chances are going to be, Vicky? Do we see a world where, yeah, we lost, can actually pull something off against Team Liquid Citadel? Feel free to be brutally honest here. You don't have to sugarcoat it.
Oh, he opened the gates, guys. He opened the gates. I don't think so. I think it's so hard to make a turnaround in such a short amount of time, like with the way that you get beaten down like that. I mean, unless you have an analyst here. I know Jitward likes to lead the way for the rest of this team, as well as the coach with his own past experience. He could bring that forward, but unless they were just going down at that VOD and figuring out what they needed to do, I think it's going to be incredibly hard for them, Gaskin.
It will be very difficult.
I think there's a will and a way. I do, honestly. This team is so unorthodox, and that's why. It's like, just when you think they're out, they're in, and when they're hot, they're on fire, and when they're cold, wolf. So it's like, which one are we gonna get? And they could bring that. Only thing is, they're not gonna get a lot of sleep to prep for it, because it's today, right?
It is, yeah. They're going to have a quick turnaround. You saw there the results of today. Of course, we had 3 back-to-back 3-2s, map 5s, and this is the lay of the land. This is how the bracket is looking as we are down to our 3 final teams. Swamp Gaming waiting in the grand finals. Team Liquid Citadel versus Yeah We Lost will be our lower bracket finals. We said goodbye to Sentinels today. We said goodbye to 100 Thieves, and we said goodbye to Lunex. Of course, yesterday we said goodbye to SSG and NRG. The Gs were eliminated, but that means that we get these upcoming matches tomorrow, which you guys are not going to want to miss, because we have the big ones. We've got our lower bracket final rematch of Yeah We Lost versus Team Liquid Citadel, and the winner of that progresses into the grand finals of the Marvel Rivals Ignite preseason playoffs against Swamp Gaming. Will it be a rematch? Will Team Liquid Citadel get their opportunity to strike back, or will Yeah We Lost pull something like a rabbit out of a hat? There is only one way to find out, and it will be happening tomorrow, so you do not want to miss it. Be there or be square. Of course, there will be a Mia